sport fans watching around the world. This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Let's get straight into the episode.
Yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my high, I ain't tripping for the funds. Yeah, I won't start, I ain't tripping, I'm a stun.
Alright y'all, today's a Monday and Mondays are for Docs. Thank you for clicking or tapping and that start today's spew. And guys, you've read the title of the video, you already know who it is. I'm very happy to be welcoming to the Doxcast for the very first time, Jayden Urban.
Thanks for having me, my brother. I really appreciate it, and for taking the time out of your day to do this. So, yeah.
Nah, thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah, you're the one who had to drive, bro. My life's pretty easy.
That's all right. It wasn't too bad of a drive,
Yeah.
It's pretty chill, yeah.
Nice.
Just prepping myself for this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. I make a little bit of a list of things just by going through people's Instagrams and TikToks and things like that. I don't always look at it, but if you do see me, I'm not trying to be rude.
That's all right, bro.
I'm just referring back to this. But I have to give a shout out first to Luke Saunders. Yep. He's the one that put me onto you in the first
he's the
place.
one that plugged it.
Yeah. How do you know him in general?
I think him and my little brother, they do music together or something along them lines. Like he's mates with my brother and my cousin.
Yeah.
I haven't personally met him,
yeah,
but he's a good bloke, So like, and then he referred me to you, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'll check him out. Checked your page out. I was like, yeah, I fuck with this guy, Like I was enjoying watching a few of your clips. I'm like, I reckon we could have a good chat, you know what I mean? Like I haven't done a podcast before, so this is the first, you know what I mean? But yeah, like it should be good.
I'm already predicting, but first of many, bro. I've checked out your Instagram. I've got a bunch of notes about it. Like it's pretty. Yeah. Your story so far has been pretty awesome to witness.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Sean for hooking that up. And your brother must be doing music with him. Like it's pretty. I've kind of met a few of those boys around that little scene. They're a good group of lads.
Yeah.
Real good.
Real good.
Real good.
For sure.
Now you're in prep for a fight now. You're about 3 weeks out. Is that right?
3 weeks. Yeah. So 3 weeks out, I got my next K1 fight. I am very excited. I've trained very hard for the fight. I always train extremely hard, like I leave nothing unturned, like I go 100%. So yeah, it's just practically mental preparation, physical preparation, and just working on my skills, My team of coaches, I got my main striking coach, Mario, and Strikers Mayhem. They're both my main coaches, so they help me with the mental side, the physical side, and, the skills side. So I feel like I'm at my peak right now. I'm at my best I've ever been. And I just don't see anyone in my weight class being able to stop me. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm just going to take this whole scene by storm. Yeah. And no one's ready for what's going to come.
I love that attitude, bro. I love that attitude. Do you know who you're fighting yet, or is it not?
Yeah, so we've got the opponent. He does have a bit more experience than me. From what I've been told, he's had, 15 boxing fights, a couple Muay Thai fights, something like that. Like he's had good experience, been training for a while. Some people may or may not know I've been training for 10 months.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I've accomplished a lot in the 10 months, And yeah, so this is just going to come down to who wants it more. And I believe I want it more than him.
Yeah.
I believe that my skills, the way I train, my mental, it's just going to be too much for him on the night. He's not going to be able to cope with it. Mm-hmm. Just the pressure and everything. It's like I just don't see him being able to stop me. For me, it's just like a speed hump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've got somewhere I want to be, and he's just a speed bump. Yeah. Am I going to let him stop me? No way. I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't. Like that's how I look at it. I'm looking at the bigger picture. I have a goal, an end goal, and the way I am, once I set something in my head, I do it. So I'm not going to let this guy come in and stop me because he thinks he's better than me, or he might have trained longer than me, had more fight. That doesn't mean nothing. It's me versus him.
Yeah.
Man versus man. In that cage, who's going to win? I believe with all my heart I'm going to finish him.
Yeah, nice. It's the power of belief, bro. And to be honest, I want to get to a big segment a bit later on, the power of belief, because it's something that I've heard you mention about manifesting and things like that in some of your posts. But just the fact on 10 months of training is insane, to be honest, bro, because just by watching your posts, like you have a great, well-earned athletic capability. Like you're quick, you're fast, you're strong, you're capable, and you've definitely got the mindset of someone who's been fighting for a very long time already. I'm kind of trying to, I don't know whether I want to reverse engineer it or go from there, but what were you doing before training? What was life like before that?
To be honest with you, like probably the year prior to training, I was just sitting on my ass. You know, like I was working. I've always been working. I've always been doing stuff. But like when it came to like gym and anything like that, I just wasn't doing nothing. I was just literally working, playing games. You know what I mean? Like just being a bit lazy. And I don't know. It was just I had so many people around me telling me I should fight. I should just go give it a crack, because I was always decent at fighting. You know, like I was always good at having a crack.
Yeah, just out and about. Like yeah.
And I just never thought about doing it, you know. I'd train in my garage or whatever. I'd hit the bag. I'd do little shit like that. I'd test my skills sometimes, go to different like gyms and have a little bit of a bang. But it was nothing I took seriously. And then, one of my cousins, he was telling me, he's like, bro, I really think you should give it a crack. Shout out Jackson Rami. He plays for the Cup squad for Newcastle Knights. He's the one that really told me like I should go for it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go for it. Man. And then I tried it. You know, I signed up at a gym, and I fell in love straight away, man. You know, I was sitting on my ass, smoking, vaping, drinking, just doing fuck all.
I get the vaping side of it.
Yeah. And then, you know, like I just fell in love with that side of training. You know, I seen myself accomplishing something. You know what I mean? Like, and I got in there, I had a crack. And yeah, like I done well, and I kept doing well. And that's the thing. It was that reassurance of my hard work is paying off. You get what I'm saying? Every time I'd fight and get my hand raised, I would feel so good about myself, because I know that I trained so hard for that fight. Yeah. You know? So that's why, like my coach, he allowed me to go and have that K1 fight in the cage after, I think it was 7 months of training. Usually he has a longer process. He likes to let his boys have a lot of mat fights and ring fights and stuff. But obviously, you know, he's seen something in me, and he gave me that opportunity. And when the time came, I showed up, you know. So that's why right now we're in motion. We got a lot of things going on. We got a lot of big plans for the rest of the year, even the start of next year, you know. So that's why I said I don't have time to let this guy think he can beat me. Yeah. At the end of the day, he's not going to. He can't. Yeah. I've got too much to lose. I'm not going to lose myself to him.
Of course, I get you, bro. And when you say back then you felt like you were a lot more lazy, you know, sitting around, smoking, vaping, drinking, things like this, playing games. At the time, were you knowing you were being lazy, or is it just now looking back thinking like that?
No, I knew I was being lazy. I was just, it was one of them things. It was like, I don't know, I just didn't have the motivation, you know. I didn't have the motivation to get up and go do something. Yeah. Like prior to that, I hit the gym. I think it was towards like that lockdown time. That's what really screwed me, because like before that I was hitting gym and stuff. Then once we got locked down, you know, I built a PC, I started playing games, and from there I just got lazy. You know, I got used to sitting at home and not really, I got out of a routine. I was very big on routine, you know. And then I got out of that routine and I just got stuck, you know, staying home, doing this, doing that, like not doing anything. And I knew I was being lazy. I just didn't have that motivation to go do something, you know.
Yeah. And it's almost like if you felt like you were missing something in the first place, then if you went straight back into fighting and you fell in love with it so much, it's like you were missing something in the first place, you know? Yeah. Do you think that if it wasn't fighting and you tried something else, you would have the same amount of passion for it?
I don't think so. To be honest with you, like, it's just the whole training for fighting I enjoy. Like, you're testing yourself against another person, you know? Just the mentality behind it. And even just like, you know, just the feeling you get. Like, I've got beaten up. Like, I've never got beaten up in the fight. Like, I haven't, you know, I haven't copped the beating. But I've got beaten up in the gym. Yeah. I always get beaten up in the gym. My biggest thing is I get beaten up on the night at the gym, but on the night I perform. You know, that's just how it is. And a lot of boys are like that, you know. But I've taken my biggest losses in the gym, and I still smile after it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that feeling, because then you keep growing, you know, you keep growing and growing and growing, and then it's just like you keep evolving. I don't know how to explain it. One day I look at a video of me training maybe 6 months ago, and I look at a video of me training 1 month ago, then I look at a video of me training now, I'm like, I have changed so much over this short amount of time, it's crazy. That's what keeps me going as well. When I look at the way I was hitting pads or the way I was sparring, like, 6 months ago, 8 months ago, like when I first started, and then even halfway, like before my last fight, I have evolved so much in this 2 months that I haven't fought.
Yeah.
So much. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's just you keep leveling up and it keeps me intrigued, keeps me wanting to learn more. The thing is, I love to absorb knowledge. I love to learn anything, little footwork, movements, anything. If I'm doing something wrong, I want to know so I can work on it, you know? And I sit and I watch myself train. My coach, he's good. He likes to record me and sends me the stuff. I don't post 90% of the stuff he sends me. And I sit there and I watch and I watch and I watch. I try to pick up on little things I do wrong, you know?
I think that you must have a natural ability then to be able to take in information well. You know, I think that comes from a level of intelligence. A lot of people can train for 5, 10, 15 years, dude, and they have not at least gained the natural ability of movement the way that I've seen your movement on your posts, you know. And to look back just 6 months ago, even a month ago, and go, fuck, the person today isn't, like, look at that evolution. That's a crazy amount of evolution just to take place in 1 month. And it kind of makes sense to me too, because I find that with myself, if I find passion in something, that thing will just continue to grow and multiply 10x, 100x, 1000x over a very short period of time. When you say you don't post most of the stuff you do, you get recorded like your coach does. And first of all, whereabouts do you train? What's the gym you train out of?
I train out at Integrated Combat Center in Peakhurst.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's a kickboxing and jiu-jitsu gym.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we're not, and we always laugh about it. We're not a fighters gym, but we have fighters. We're a family-friendly gym.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know,
Nice.
we got kids that train, but we're a variety. We're not based as a fighters gym.
Yeah.
We're a family-friendly gym.
Wow.
But we've got a little group of fighters, and the little group we have is some of the best in the world. We got one of my boys, Ryan McMahon. He just fought for Australia in the World Championships of kickboxing. He came second in a very, very close fight. Second in the world, by the way.
Wow.
In a very close fight, which was very controversial. But end of the day, you know, he done really well. And that's one of the boys from our gym, from a family-friendly gym. We're not a fight gym. We don't go and just belt each other every single day. You don't need to learn like that. You know, there's some gyms you go to, like Taronga Zoo.
Yeah.
They get brain damage before they even make it pro, you know?
I feel like the family orientation that a gym has is what makes the gym so powerful. You know, the stronger the family unit, the better results you get because of it. I always found, and I was on and off training my entire life growing up, you know. And it's funny because looking back at it now, having other things that I'm passionate about, it was never something that was ever going to evolve into something great because it was never a passion. It was just a daily routine kind of thing for me, right? But whenever I trained at somewhere and there was that family unit, that's when I had my best capability. It didn't matter where I was training. It just mattered who I was training with, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When you say you don't post as much stuff as you get recorded, I noticed that you are pretty consistent with your posts on social media, which is a good thing. Social media is a beast, dude. The capability of what it can do for us is phenomenal. Do you consciously think of that? Like, do you make effort to post more? Do you think about it, or is it just whenever kind of thing?
Yeah, so I try and have like a routine, and I try and have like a schedule of topics, because there's some days where I'll post clips of me doing stuff, and there's days where I'm showing people strength and conditioning. There's days where I'm trying to help other fighters with mentality going into the fight. I haven't had as many fights as most people, but you know what? The little knowledge I have, and I pass it on to other people who've had more fights than me. They sit there and they go, fuck, I'm gonna try that out. You know, especially the manifesting thing. I've had a couple mates I know who've had more fights than me and stuff, and they really wanted me to debunk how I look into my fights, and I've helped them with it. You know, and they've turned around and said to me, bro, that really helped me with the nerves. You know, just little things, because I'm obsessed. Once I enjoy something, I become obsessed. I'll find everything out that I need to know to make sure I'm the best at what I'm doing. You know, so when it comes to mentality, I have a bulletproof mind. You can't break my mind. That's the one thing. You could break my bones. You could break anything. You break my nose. You can make me feel like I'm going to die in there, but you won't break my mind.
I love that. I love that. And what is it that how do you feel like you debunk the mindset before going into a fight? You know, what do you feel like you have learned the experience of to think through that other people might not have?
Okay, well, with me, I have a thing I do at the end of every session. I put my headphones on. I play a few different songs because I try to find the song I want to walk out to, right? and I'll sit down, I'll play a few songs, and I'll stand there with my eyes closed. Once I find the song that I'm vibing with that day, now I'll stand there and I'll pretend my coaches are talking to me, or one of my coaches will talk to me. I'll take my headphones out and he will be talking to me like I'm about to walk down the stairs. Just do your job, you know, you're here, you've trained hard, it's go time, you know, like they'll say stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, let's go. And I'll pretend in my head, and I can imagine it, that I'm there. I'm about to walk down these stairs. I'm about to walk out the tunnel, right? I'm about to see the whole crowd. I'm about to see my opponent in the cage. I'm about to get my gloves checked. I'm about to get my mouth guard checked. And I'm sitting there and I'm walking through this whole walkout. I do step by step. There's videos before my fight of me doing step by step exactly what I did in my walkout. I walked up the stairs. I did the sign of the cross. I touched the floor. I bounced around, looked at my opponent. As I got to my corner, I turned around, ignored him. Exactly what I've done in the clip. I ignored him. Spoke to my coaches, turned around, touched gloves, and I started the fight exactly how I did, in the way I manifested it, in the way I thought about it. You know, I had no nerves. When I walked out, you can probably watch a lot of people's walkouts. If you look me in my eyes in that video, you will see I had no fear. I had no nerves. I was ready. The adrenaline was in. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, I was ready to fight. I wasn't feeling like I'm on a vomit. I didn't feel like my hands were pillow punches. Like I've had fights where I didn't do that. And the first maybe minute of the fight, I felt useless. Like I felt like my punches weren't doing anything. I felt like they were just pillows.
Yeah.
It's like I was fighting in a dream.
Yeah, yeah.
This time when I went in, I felt like I was in control. You know, so I feel like it's very, very important to worry about your mental, especially as a fighter. If you don't think about how you're going to feel, the emotions, that can play on your gas tank too. No matter how hard you train, if you don't mentally prepare and you walk out there and you feel like you're going to vomit and, you know what I mean? And that takes a toll on your gas tank, you know? So that's why, for me, it's just, that's how I work on my mentality, you know, the mentality side. Everyone's got their own little tricks, you know, but that's how I like to do it.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, man. Like, especially to walk into a fight without nerves, comparing that to someone else who's probably nervous as fuck to go into a fight.
Yeah.
Like, I never really considered it for all my years through training. I was going to start doing amateur fights. COVID again was the thing that knocked me off that bandwagon. I think it was for the best. It kind of put me down a path I'm more happy with, but I never considered how, all I was thinking of was like, man, I can't wait. What's the best song to bop to and I walk out? You know, that was as far as my brain capacity was able to go back then. But I also didn't have much self-awareness when it comes to things like preparation, manifestation, like just what it takes to be mentally prepared for any situation, not just physically prepared for any situation.
Yeah.
So if that's what you do mentally to prepare yourself, what's your physical side look like? What's your training schedule? How often? Like things like this.
Okay, so my training schedule is pretty rigorous, you know, because I'm a concrete pumper. So my hours are from like, you know, it could be from 5 till 5, 5 till 8, 5 till 3. Like every day is different, you know, but when I'm outside of work, my schedule is I've got strength and conditioning. So I'm with a coach, Coach Kennedy Assault on Instagram. He does a couple high-level guys, UFC fighters, stuff like that. I do my strength and conditioning with him. And it's practically like a weight session with cardio and stuff like that. But the way we train, we're not bodybuilders. We're not here to do slow movements. We're here to throw weight around. You know, I do a lot of plyometrics, jumping, stuff like that. It's all explosiveness. The way he's built my program is to suit my body type. Before, I couldn't jump in flying knee heaves. You've probably seen him up there. Now I'm throwing it up like it's nothing.
Okay, so he's pretty skilled in that regard. He knows how to work with athletes in that regard,
Yeah, for sure.
And how often is the strength and conditioning trying to
go?
So
we have that 3 times a week. So for me, I'll be doing strength and conditioning 3 times a week. Skill sessions either once or twice a day. So most of the time, if I like, I'll take a couple of days off a week when I'm in camp. So I can have them two skill sessions a day. One would be with Strikers Mayhem, and the other one will be the group class at night. So that's how I sort of work it out. I do recovery every day. Infrared sauna, ice bath, hot plunge. I do that at EMF. It's actually a pretty good gym. And I do all that stuff. Like I'm on top of it. My nutrition is good. I'm with Strive Dietetics. He does a lot of the water cuts and stuff like that, and nutrition for a lot of the fighters here. So that's the main thing, you know, sleep, nutrition, and training. Like I train 4 or 5 hours a day, sometimes 6.
Wow.
That's not including, you know, like I do hill sprints once a week. I swim once a week. I go for a run once a week on top of all the other stuff, you know?
Wow. So it doesn't leave much room for you to do much else, which is why it's clearly a passion, dude. It's clearly a calling, you know? Like, work's pretty demanding. I understand how that feels. Like, fuck, bro, work could call me in at any point to be there for 15 hours, bro. Like, it's just unbelievable. But outside of that, I do put as much possible effort into the things that I'm passionate about. Easy example would be the podcast, you know? This is like my baby, whether it be fighting, be your baby. When you do those strength and conditioning classes, that's something I'm curious about too. Like, how long is a session? How intense is it always the same level of his intensity?
Yeah, so practically it takes about an hour, right? And intensity wise, I go 100% in all my training, right? Obviously each session's different because he's got like this app and he updates your sessions. Like, there's certain things every week we work on: strength and power, and then explosiveness, and you know, now we're in our peak cycle. So we're getting ready to peak. So the day of the fight, I'll be at my peak level of fitness. So that's what we're working on right now. But when it comes to the strength and conditioning side, I like to go 100%. Same with my skills training. But sometimes in skills training, I'll slow it down because I want to learn the movement. I want to learn the technique correctly, right? There's times where I do go 100%, but there's also times where I'll sit there and I'll work on a jab. Like, I'll sit and hit a bag. I'll do 1,000 jabs. I'll do 1,000 crosses. I'll do 1,000 1-2s, 1,000 1-2-3s, 100 round kicks, 100 front kicks, 100 knees. Like, I'll sit there and I'll try and perfect it. So that's a session where I'm not going 100%. That's a session where I might be at the gym for 3 hours on a Saturday night. No one's there, and just working on sharpening my tools. And that's why I believe I have excelled so fast in the short amount of time I have, because I don't do nothing else. I work, I train, I sleep. That's all I do. My weekends consist of me training. My Sundays, all I do, I get up, I go for a nice walk, I relax. It's like a recovery day. I go to church at night and I get ready for my week ahead, you know?
Do you find that to be a very beneficial thing for what you're doing, having a Sunday as a rest day?
Yeah, for sure. I have to, because my last camp, I didn't rest. And I did not rest. Like, I was training 7 days a week. And with the new strength and conditioning coach I have, he's told me that's not good. You know, I want you to be 100% for your fight. He goes, overtraining is worse than actually like training less. So I didn't know that. So I would train like a psychopath. I would wake, some nights I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up at 2 a.m, go for a 5-kilometer run, go do sprints at the park, and then run home.
What's that motivation behind getting up and doing it? Is that feeling that, because I remember in my preparations when I was getting ready for a fight, it was that feeling that the other guy ain't doing this. There's no chance he's doing this.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that I had in my head. It was just a mental thing. Like, I knew no one on the planet was doing what I was doing. So it really, it got me feeling good, you know? This fight, I've taken the smarter approach. This fight, I've taken the approach of, I'm going to listen to my strength and conditioning coach. I'm going to do a couple extra sessions, but I'm going to prioritize my body. I'm going to prioritize how I feel. And I've noticed through my training sessions, through my skills sessions, through my sparring sessions, I am performing as a much better athlete that I'm training less.
That's awesome, bro. That's the science catching up to the discipline, you know? Like, really, they've been monitoring how people have been performing in all sports for dozens and dozens of athletes for decades and decades. Like, we know the best way to train. It's good to get the advice on the people who break it down on a scientific level. Are you the type of individual to feel yourself getting burnt out? I'm going to say that because me personally, I don't notice a overall fatigue in anything. It could be a mental fatigue, it could be a physical fatigue. Like, I don't notice things until it's too late. When things start fucking up inside and I start getting sore. Do you notice that or not?
Like, for me, I never noticed. But now that I have been training the way I have, I realized I was doing everything wrong, because I didn't think I was fatigued because I never hit this level of fitness.
Okay.
I never hit this level that I'm at now. So I've never been here. So I didn't know that what I was doing was wrong, because the way I was training before, I thought it was right. And I was fit. Don't get me wrong, I was fit. Now I'm not training like I was, and I am 10 times fitter. I'm able to perform at all my training sessions. There would be training sessions back then where I wouldn't perform. I wouldn't be able to hit the pads. My arms would just be so tired. There'd be sparring sessions where I just go in there and I just cop a beating because I'm exhausted. And yeah, like, it was just, I've just noticed such a different level. Like, my coaches say the same thing. Just the way I'm training, my fitness, everything has changed. So obviously I'm doing something right.
Yeah, definitely. So I've heard a couple of my mates mention that to me as well. They've noticed a physical difference in level they've achieved through doing. They might be consistent with calisthenics. Some of my other mates might be consistent with strength and conditioning, things like that. But they feel like they've gotten to a point where they're like, oh, I've leveled up. I can feel it in my body.
Yeah.
Like I've never experienced that. Is it only from a sense of knowing what you're capable of in class, or do you literally feel different? Like you feel like a different person than you felt before?
Like, I'll be honest with you, and it's funny to say, I genuinely feel like I'm a superhero at this point. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm so close to the fight. I feel like I've got concrete in my hands. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I am very, very strong.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy. That's why, like, when the boys started calling me Hulk and shit, you know, like, it just stuck.
I
Because,
like that. Hulk's a good little
yeah,
name,
it's like my alter ego, you know? Like, when I'm
Yeah.
fighting, when I'm sparring hard, whatever, it's like I'm the Hulk.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just a ball of meat that is not, I'm not unathletic. I can jump from the ground. I can kick you in the head. I can flying knee you. I can do the most crazy shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And someone that's like my build, you wouldn't expect that. You think, oh, this guy's going to be stiff and slow. This is what this guy's in for a shock for. He's
Yeah.
going to look at me and he's going to think this guy's stiff and slow. He's not going to realize the athleticism I actually have.
Yeah.
How quick, how explosive, and how fucking hard I hit.
Yeah.
That's going to be his downfall.
Did you feel like you ever had much of a physique before you got into training?
I've always had good physique. I've always had like good genetics, you know. I used to be 105 kilos of pure just, I had a six-pack. I was a
Wow.
big guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But the way I looked at it was there's no point of being this big ball of muscle if you can't use it.
Yeah.
When I was 105 kilos, I couldn't walk. My arms were like that.
Yeah, I remember when I was like 18 or something, I was probably 95 kilos. It was the biggest and strongest I've ever been, but I was useless, bro. I could not move. It was
That's
like,
what I mean.
it
Yeah.
was shit, bro.
So it's just, yeah, it's like, it's one of them ones. It's like, you got to figure out what you want to do. Like, if you just want to be like a stiff bodybuilder, fine. That's good, you know, good on you. Like, I've got nothing against no one. As long as you're doing something. If you're just sitting on your ass and shit, then do better, you know? Like, do something good for your life. Don't just sit there and just bum around, you know? It's not going to help you.
Yeah.
You're wasting time.
You said that, but you felt very lazy before, and now, from what I hear, you're incorporating things that most people don't even incorporate, even if it's not necessarily beneficial for fighting. But I know running is, swimming is, these kind of things are. But people also choose those to do as full-time pursuits. Some people are full-time runners or full-time swimmers. Do you find enjoyment in the athleticism?
So for me, I hate running. Right? I hate it, but that's why I do it. Like, I genuinely hate it. Hurts my ankles, hurts my knees, hurts my back. I don't enjoy running. Right, swimming. I enjoy swimming. Swimming's pretty cool. I hate the assault bike. The conditioning that this guy has me doing, it's like he's preparing me to fight Thanos.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like if someone's seen the things this guy's getting me to do, like, people watch me at the gym, like bodybuilders, and they trip out because this guy's got me training for, I'm telling you, Thanos.
That's wild.
I'm doing triple box jumps. I'm just throwing weight around like it's nothing. And the biggest, all week, I've got hard sparring book. I've got everything. The one day I don't look forward to is when I check my phone and it says assault bike rounds. The way he's got me doing these rounds. I'm never going to give it out to anyone.
Yeah.
But these rounds, it's a killer.
Yeah,
Like, honestly, halfway through, like, I'm on the ground.
yeah.
I dread it all week. All week I think about that. So the assault bike's not my mate.
Yeah.
But I still do it because that's it. You can't do the things you only like.
Of course. And to put yourself through something like running is a good thing to do. But me personally, in my life, I do not like it. I do not look forward to doing it. I rarely do it. But when I do it, I feel a lot more. I feel proud. I feel accomplished. I feel like I'm glad I did it. Do you get that feeling post these things you don't want to do?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like for me, like the assault bike, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But then I'm G'ing myself up the whole time. I'm like, my opponent's done it 20 times already. And I'm looking at myself, and I that's the thing I love about this gym, about the assault bike, the mirror's right there. So I still, in between the rounds where I'm getting my 30 seconds of rest, breathing,
Yeah.
I'm staring at myself in the eyes and telling myself, are you going to give up? Are you going to let this guy beat you while you're tired? You're tired. So what? You're just going to surrender? You're going to let this guy put it on you? You're going to let this guy knock you out? So that's how I look at it. So for me, everything I do in all my training, my strength training, my skills training, whenever I start to feel tired, if it's sparring, whatever it is, running, if I start to feel tired, I will push 100 times harder because I will mentally say, this guy's going to hurt you. This guy's going to beat you. You're going to give up like a coward. And that's the thing that gets me through. Like my last fight, the first round, I had a brilliant round. Chopped his leg, pieced him up. I was doing really well. The second round came, I had an adrenaline dump. I still won the round, but I had an adrenaline dump. I felt like I couldn't throw anymore. I was gassed. It's like I had nothing left in the tank. I was throwing, but it just wasn't with intention. Everything was like that was landing wasn't stunning him like it was in the first. The leg kicks that were getting thrown weren't as hard as they were in the first. And I'm thinking, what the hell? Well, what's happened? Like, and I'm tripping out on myself in the fight. I sit down in my corner. My coach comes up to me, Mick. He goes to me, you've lost both rounds. He goes, are you going to let this guy beat you? He goes, look at him. Look across at him. He's tired as you. Is he going to let him beat you? He goes, fucking go for it. He goes, don't fucking let him beat you. He knew I was up, but he knows how to talk to me.
Yeah.
I looked at him, and I go, I promise you, it's done. And then that third round was my best round the whole fight. I went for the kill from the bell.
Yeah.
I rocked him so many. He was a lot bigger than me. He was a good opponent. But yeah, like I just from that flicked the switch because it reminded me of all that training, all the hard work, the blood, the sweat, the tears, everything I put into that camp. And I was like, I'm not gonna let this guy beat me. There's no way.
That's so incredible because that point of fatigue is such a. And to be honest, the entire fight world is only a personal game of self motivation. There is no physical side to training. It's all mental. The mental is going to push the physical.
Yeah.
Anyone can do physical. Like
Yeah.
physical, you just work out until you're tired. You just go for a run until you don't want to run anymore. But fighting is an entire different genre of athleticism, you know? I'm sure there is other sports that are similar. I just don't know many people are playing many other sports, but when you go do these sessions, like a run session or a swim session, and even these assault bike sessions, say if you weren't doing it in that one class, do you give yourself time or do you give yourself, what is the thing that allows you to keep going? Like you get tired at a certain point, but is it not until I hit this certain kilometers or is it this certain time? How do you judge that?
So I have a set target, right, on whatever it is. If it's the assault bike, so I got to do 20 rounds at 10 seconds, 100%, let's say. If I get to 10 and I'm fucked, it does not matter. It does not matter. I need to pick myself up. I need to keep going. If I say to myself I'm going to do a 5K run, I'm going to do a 5K run. I can't do a 4.9K run.
Yeah.
Because if I do, I gave up.
Yeah.
That last 100 meters, the guy knocked me out. That last 100 meters, I gave up. That last 100 meters, I decided to cruise. And in this game, you can't cruise.
Yeah.
You need to fight the whole time. Unless you want to lose. If you want to lose, then no worries. Lose. Give up.
I was curious, like, so it's mostly a distance thing in your perspective. It's not like I want to run for 30 minutes. It's more like I want to run for a distance.
No, I set a distance.
Yeah.
I set a distance. Because with the distance, I'll have a time on my phone and I'll say, okay, I want to beat it. It was literally like the other night. You might have seen my story. It was raining. And I decided to go for a run. I'd already trained 3 times that day. And that was just a mental thing because whenever I start to get that little bit of nerves, then I go, okay. Because I get nervous the whole fight camp. From the moment I know who my opponent is, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. And then the moment the nerves stop is when I walk down the stairs.
Yeah.
From then to now, I'm nervous. No matter how much you prepare, I'm just nervous. You know what I mean? And that's what gives me that push. So when I went for that run the other night, I said I'm going to do a 5K run. It's raining. It's cold. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't be bothered. But it was just, I said as I was driving home, that's what I want to do. So I said, okay, I got to do it. You know? Yeah. And that was it. I went, by the time I hit 2.5 Ks, about 3 Ks, I really wanted to stop. I really just wanted to go home. I was soaking wet. I was tired. My legs were giving up. And I literally said to myself, okay, if you fucking give up here, you might as well just give up and not fight as I'm running. And I picked the pace up. It was practically a sprint the last 2 kilometers. I fucking pumped it all the way home. There was nothing that was going to stop. I started running on the road. I didn't give a fuck. I was just pumping it. I left everything I had. But I got to my doorstep. I fell on the floor. I couldn't breathe. I was gone.
That's insane, man. And it really takes a special kind of individual because there's no one watching you in that moment. You're not in a gym. You're not surrounded by your peers. There's no pressure. Like, for me, it's a good motivation for me. You know, when I know that I'm with the boys, I want to show off. I want to outperform other people. To imagine the other people to outperform takes a special kind of individual, bro. And to be honest, even in my own personal life, when I go for a run, like, I contemplate quitting, bro. I contemplate. I don't always do, but sometimes I do. Like, it just depends on how I feel that day. And because I haven't trained myself for that mental discipline of it's for a better cause. There is someone who I'm trying to outbeat in this moment, you know? It's awesome. It's really awesome. With the social media side of what you're doing, I think that the active posts is a very beneficial tool. It's gained you to get things like the sponsors you're doing, you know? You got to show off not just your skills and what you're capable of, but you can show off other people's stuff, and that's why people want to, you know, promote you with clothing or supplements or whatever it may be. I think Sugar Sean is a great example of what the power of posting can really do for someone. And yes, he's built himself a life outside of UFC, but at the same time, I really think that has propelled his UFC career forward a lot further and faster. Yeah, for sure. Do you consider that as well?
Well, that's one of the biggest things I talk to with a lot of fighters I know and stuff. Like, I prioritize the social media side as well. You know, it's just as important because you have to understand I got like you said, sponsors that hit me up. I got promotions that hit me up to fight on their cards. I got plenty of things because the way I promote myself, I know people that are probably 10 times better fighters than me, with more accolades than me, more belts, more whatever, right? And it's not me showing off, but I have more sponsors or I have more people behind me or I'm selling more tickets or whatever it is. And I've had that one fight, you know what I mean? So that one K1 fight. So do you get what I mean? So it's like, it's the way you market yourself. Like, I marketed myself in a good way where I'm in a position now where I can be invited on podcasts and I can go and do other things outside of just training. I got people hitting me up to come check out their business and do stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
But when I'm in camp, I just try to prioritize on what I'm trying to do, you know? Yeah. But for now, I have my solid team of sponsors. I'm grateful for all of them and I appreciate it, you know? A lot of them see the vision. They understand where I'm trying to go. And that's how it is, man, you know? Like, I'm happy to help. I want to help the people around me. The people that are here for me from when I'm beginning will be the people that I'm helping out, you know, when I'm bigger.
Yeah.
So that's just the way I look at it. I feel like without the social media side, it's very hard. I know some professional fighters that are getting paid $500 to fight.
Yeah. It's a very limited ceiling, you know. If you don't take advantage of this social media beast, all you're doing by posting things on social media is you're helping bring things forward faster, bigger, you know. If I look at, say, someone like Josh Saunders, he's a good example for me to refer back to, like the jiu-jitsu champion, to be honest.
Yeah.
If he wasn't actively posting as much as he's been posting, he might still be at the level of skill he's got, but he wouldn't be in the life position which he's in now, which is online courses and training and traveling and promotion and sponsors and things like this. I know a lot of people who are fighting and not really any of them are taking the social media as serious, you know. I'm going to use, and I'm not going to say names, but there are a lot of people I know who fight out of a certain gym. You boys know who you are. And they use mostly the gym's facilities and videography and camera work to get moments and clips for themselves, and they usually just put them up on their story.
Yeah.
But making posts, making reels, making interactive things, asking people questions, like making almost like a series kind of show out of a social media platform, I think that everyone should be doing it, bro. And it's awesome to see that you're doing it because I would have never been able to reach out to you in this first place if you were doing it, you know?
Yeah.
As you said.
No, I get that. That's why, like I was saying, I've said it to a few of the boys I know, like, if you think about it like this, let's say, for example, I'm a professional MMA fighter. I'm 3-0, and I have 30, 40,000 followers on Instagram, 40,000, 50,000 on TikTok, right? I'm going to have more of a chance of getting into the UFC and getting better money and getting promoted faster than a guy that's, say, 6-0 or 7-0 with no following, no one knows who he is.
I think you'd have a better chance, honestly, of someone who was 15-0, to be honest, bro.
Do you get what I mean? Because the way they look at it, it's a business. They look at it, this guy has overall 100,000 people watching him, let's say, right? So that 100,000 people watching him is, say, 50,000 of them buy a pay-per-view or buy a ticket to his fight. That's how they look at it.
Yeah.
You don't even need that, even 10,000. It's still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Like that's the way they look into it as well. It's a business. It's not just you're your own brand. Me right now, I'm my own brand. So whatever I do reflects on how I'm going to be promoted in the future, you know? So I need to build myself in the correct way, not start late, start after you've had 10 fights. Start now. Show people the journey from the start. People have seen me from the start where I looked like I wasn't a beginner too much of it, but I was still very new to it. And people look at it now and they think, what the hell? How's this guy trained 10 months?
Yeah.
People don't believe it.
Yeah.
People spin out. I spar people, I train people, and they go, bro, you've not been training for 10 months. I go, bro, I have.
Yeah.
I can show you the membership if you want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's awesome, bro. It's awesome. And to be honest, the 10-month factor, it is a crazy factor to play as well. But you're right when you say it's all about the journey for people to watch from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see someone sitting at the top of the throne. Like, it is awesome to see. But, like, what's more awesome for me is to watch someone get to the top. Like, that's such an awesome feeling. Someone to overcome the obstacles. Someone to face adversity. Someone to prove what they were going to prove. I don't want to see someone who's already made it. I want to see someone manifest the things they want to manifest.
Oh, for sure. That's why, like, the way I try to interact with the community, especially on my TikTok. My TikTok, I do a lot more content. On my TikTok, more like series sort of stuff. With Instagram, it's more just reels and promoting and a few things. But I think TikTok is a lot easier to grow on, in my opinion, to get a better audience and get people more attracted because everyone's just micro scrolling.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to catch their eye. There's 100 people hitting pads. Why should they watch you hit pads?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So, but then there's also other things I talk about. I try to engage with the youth and obviously my other side of my life that I came from, and I try and engage with all them types of people, try to help people get off drugs. I get messages every day that I've helped someone, that my videos have helped someone that was on drugs to go and start training and stuff like that. I get little kids coming up to me, like telling me like they watch my stuff, and it's a good feeling because at the end of the day, I didn't see myself being in this situation maybe 5 years ago, let's say, right? I didn't expect me to be helping people and trying to help the younger generation and having that sort of that reach and that audience. Like I'm able to get in touch with these guys and speak to this younger generation and really help them to understand that there's more to life than that life.
Definitely. I find a lot of relatability in that too. Like, you're 23, am I right?
Yeah.
I say that, 23? Yeah, I'm 25 myself. So both of us are still very early into this whole life situation, right? But just experience and things that you've mentioned on your TikTok videos, which I've checked out, found a lot of relation to. And I'm going to circle back to that in a minute. But I wanted to talk as well. A lot of people haven't got a necessary desire to start doing something as extreme as fighting because of the level of consistency and requirements necessary.
Yeah.
A lot of lads around our age, bit earlier, even a lot older, work is pretty much priority in their life.
Yeah.
How has putting so much effort into training and looking after your body and health and sleep and even recovery, how has that impacted your day-to-day work life?
You have to understand, fighting is very expensive, right? Like, especially the way, because I have the best coaches around me, dietitian, strength and conditioning, and skills. Obviously doing all the extra private sessions a week, and I'm very grateful that my coaches help me with that. They train me, and they look after me. They don't like Mick Strikers Mayhem. He doesn't charge me. He looks after me. He knows the goal and. And he'll be looked after. They'll both be looked after, once we get there. But on that side, it does affect work because it's hard, man, like my brain's just not there. All I'm thinking about is fighting. So it becomes one of them things where like I'm at work and all I'm thinking about is combinations.
Yeah.
All I'm thinking about is how I'm gonna do this and how I'm gonna go into the fight and what tactics I'm gonna use and just stuff like that. So it does affect it like that. And it's just like once your mind is out of it and you're thinking about, I want to be this, it's hard to get up and go to work, But obviously, there's bills. So once you get to a certain point, I feel, and you can do something that you enjoy to do. Like for me, I would love to, coach people, train people, stuff like that. So I've obviously got some plans for some stuff coming up later this year. So it's just everything is in the works at the moment,
Yeah.
I'm taking shit step by step. I haven't been in a situation like this before. You know, I haven't been able to really do anything with myself and have these opportunities that have arose. So now I'm just taking everything as it comes. I'm step by step. I do have big plans, and hopefully, I can turn this into a full-time thing.
Yeah.
That's the goal. I want to be full-time with it. I do enjoy training people. I do private sessions and I do train people as well, which is good. I enjoy helping other people out, and so that's one of the things. It does affect obviously being in construction and stuff, because if your heart's not there and you don't want to do it, it's hard to get up at 5 a.m. and go pump concrete.
Yeah.
But I obviously am very grateful, because at the end of the day, we all got bills. We all got people we need to look after and stuff like that. So you got to do what you got to do,
Someone said this to me once. It was actually a lad I sat down with named Nick Batar. He said that when he started to find so much more fulfillment in the things he was doing outside of work, he started to look at work like a big toll in his life, something that he just had to show up for. And someone gave him the perspective of, without this, you wouldn't be able to be doing what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And he became so much more grateful for his job because of the fact that without it, he wouldn't be able to chase his dreams outside of it. And it's something that I think that a lot of people chasing their dreams are slowly adopting, to be able to transition from one into another without taking that much of a financial loss in the first place. So I understand it from my own personal experience, the mindset that gets lost because you're so fixated on something else. But what about from a physical aspect? So I know that concreting is a very labor-intense kind of job.
Yeah.
If you feel so athletic in training now with your new lifestyle routines, do you feel better at work from a physical point of view?
Yeah, of course, I've always been a stronger guy, right? So just being how I am now, you can definitely feel it. But the thing is, you can feel the toll it takes in your body too. Do you get what I mean? Yeah, I'm physically stronger, but you can definitely feel the toll on your body, because from 5 a.m. till I sleep, I'm just hard work and then training hard. So there's no I don't have that break. I don't have that Sundays is the day where I just relax. But on the other days, it's just constant bashing my body, So it's from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep, just brutalizing your body, So
Yeah.
I can understand some people feeling certain ways, and it can affect you differently. Some days I feel strong at work. It's weird. Some days I feel strong at work, shit at training, and days I feel shit at work, better at training.
Yeah.
I think it's just how you wake up, honestly.
Yeah. I get that. Before, if you can tell there's a massive difference in your mindset, how long were you doing this concreting job before you started training in the first place? How long have you been doing it for?
On and off, I did pumping maybe for about a year, and then I had a 2-3 year break where I went and done some building and stuff, and then I ended back up on the pumps. I've been on the pump again for nearly 2 years. It's a hard job, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's worth the money and stuff like that. It's very labor intensive, but it pays the bills.
Did you see yourself going down a future in this before you found fighting, or did you always know that you were going to find something else?
I didn't want to be in construction, to be honest, at all.
Yeah.
I was always looking to do something of my own. I just was waiting for something to click. You know what I mean? I've always just been waiting for that thing to click, and then I found the thing that clicked. So that's the goal. That's how do I get from where I am now to doing this full time. There's a plan. There's things in motion. So for me to be happy and for me to achieve what I want to achieve, I need to do these little stepping stones to get to here, so then I can train full time and I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So every day's a battle. Every day you're plotting, scheming, you're trying to think of new ideas, and sometimes it just comes to you, So for me, my goal was I didn't want to work in construction. That was not the plan. Yeah. It was just something I'd done because when I got out, I just felt like I had no option. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go work on concrete pump. I know it's good money. I can save some money. I can get on my feet. And you know what I mean? I don't have to get back into doing crime and shit like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I knew it was worth the reward,
I think that's a good segue too. And I wouldn't ask this question if you didn't have videos on TikTok that are kind of touching on the subject. I didn't want to. To be honest, I didn't watch them just every time I seen one because I wanted to be able to find out in person.
Yeah. Okay.
There's just one post that I did that caught my eye. It was one of the first TikToks. I feel like it said something to do with junkie this age, criminal this age, fighter this age. And that's what sparked my curiosity. And then every time I see anything about it, I went, no, I'm not going to know. I'm going to ask in person about it. So you also mentioned that you try and speak to anyone who needs advice to try and steer them away.
Yeah.
How would you describe what your situation in life was like before in that side of the field?
Well, yeah. For me, I started drugs from a very young age. Probably I started smoking pot probably like, I don't know, year 6. Hopped on MDMA, probably started year 7, started racking up every day. It just became like a natural thing, you know, like I enjoyed doing drugs. I felt like it was like my escape, you know. And I didn't realize the effect it was having on me. Because it would just, like when I'd get on the drugs, it just turned me very violent. It didn't matter if it was pot, didn't matter if it was M's or rat, whatever it was, it just made me a very violent person.
It's crazy for even pot.
Yeah, no, pot.
Yeah.
It would just trigger something in my brain that would make me violent and turn me into a bad person, you know? And it was just something that I really, really struggled with, just being able to get off the drugs. And that obviously led to me committing a lot of crime because, like I said, when I was on drugs, I was violent. So who am I going to take that violence out on? Other people, you know, and we would go around and just do stupid shit, you know. And for me, it was just I enjoyed violence. I enjoyed hurting people. I enjoyed taking things from people, whatever it was, you know, like I enjoyed knowing that I'd done that to someone. You know,
wild. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, but do you get what I mean? Like, it was just, that was just the mindset I had. I enjoyed taking something from you. You know what I mean? And it was just one of them things where I was like, I grew up enjoying it. So it was pretty clear where I was going to end up. And, you know, I ended up there. So I ended up getting locked up. And to be honest, it made it worse. Because the first time I got locked up, I fucking enjoyed being there. Do you get what I mean? And I thought, fuck, this is a good place.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the boys, you know, like there's a couple punch-ons, couple stabbing, whatever it is, you know, you're little kids, you're running amok, you know what I mean? Like, you didn't care because you're doing it out here, punching on every day, you know what I mean? Getting in brawls, stabbing, whatever it is, you know, like, you just didn't care. So when I was there, it was like a holiday. There was no, all right, what, you punch on, oh, fuck, cool, you got a Segro, you know what I mean? Whatever it is, like, you didn't give a fuck. Did not give a fuck. You're not going to get charged. You're already here. You're already in there.
Yeah.
So it becomes one of them things where it's like, I just didn't care. And so once I seen how it was in there, I was like, fuck, that's hectic. I really enjoyed being in there. You know, I could be that violent person. I could do what I want. I could be the person that I created. You know, I created that person through taking the drugs and hanging around and just doing stupid shit, you know. So then I got out and my intention was to go back in as quick as possible. Fuck. And I was back in within 2 weeks.
Fuck.
Yeah, for a lot more serious shit.
Wow.
I spent majority of my teenage years locked up.
Wow.
Practically from the ages of like 14 to like 20, I was just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Couple out here for a couple of weeks and stuff like that. But yeah, like I was gone majority of my teenage life, you know, because I didn't see the value in life. And I thought that's the best possible outcome. For me, being in there is the best outcome. I could train every day. I was enjoying myself. I play cards, have a few cracks here and there, whatever, you know, like, and it was fun. To me, it was a lot of fun. Even when I was in there, I was close to getting out, and I called my mum. I still had a couple years on parole, maybe 3 years on parole once I was meant to get out. And I called my mum and I said, listen, I'm thinking about trying to do my parole inside. Like, and I was trying to put it to her like, oh, I just want to get out and have nothing. So like, there's no restrictions. I can just get out and live my life. Like, you know what I mean? And she found it a bit odd, but the reason I was trying to do it is because I wanted to stay in.
Yeah. Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
wow.
I wanted to stay there. I just didn't like being out here. I didn't enjoy it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was, I don't know. I still, to this day, I don't know why. I don't know why I really enjoyed not being out here, you know? I felt like I feel like it's the easy way out. I feel like you don't have to worry about nothing, you know? It's just, you just go about your day, you do what you need to do, whatever happens, you know? And I think that that mindset was what really fucked me up, because I just continued to think that this is the best way of life. You know, this is the way I should live my life. And it was not until maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where I sat down with myself and I said, fuck.
Sorry to cut you off, but were you inside or outside at this
I
point?
was outside at this point.
Yeah.
And I really sat down with myself and I said, fuck, I need to do something. I need to change, you know. And this was during that COVID time, you know. So I was sitting in my house and I felt like I was segregated again, you know. I was just sitting in my room and I'm just thinking, fuck, like, I need to do something with my life, because if I don't, I'm just going to end up fucked, you know. Like, I'm going to end up dead or in jail for the rest of my life. And I didn't want that. So I don't know what it was. There was just something that clicked in my head and was just like, I don't want that. You know, I feel like I can do something better. And that's how it was, you know. Like, when I was growing up, we were bad cunts, you know. Like, we were just running amok everywhere, doing anything. We didn't care what we done. We just ran amok, you know. And it gets to that point, like, especially when you get to this age and you start to look back and you think, fuck, like, I just done so much stupid shit. And then it's always in the back of your head. Wherever you go public, you go here, you go there, and you think, I've done wrong by so many people, you know, so you're always on edge. For me now, I'm like, with the promoting yourself, that's hard as well, because you start to think like, oh, you know, certain people are going to think, fuck this guy, you know, whatever. But for me, it's been pretty good, because there's been people from the past that I've had run-ins with and shit like that, and they've seen what I'm doing. They see how I'm trying to help the younger generation, and they've reached out and said, listen, bro, like, you know, we had some shit, but bro, like, I see what you're doing, you know, and like, I'm proud of you, you know. Like, I've had people that I genuinely had big beef with that have reached out and say stuff like that, you know, and we've squashed everything, because at the end of the day, we're all kids, you know, we're young kids running amok. Whatever we done, you know. And I think the way, once everyone's grown up, they've started to see that I'm using my experience and the things I've done to try and help other young people when we didn't have people telling us like that. When we're growing up, the older boys are telling you, yeah, do this, do that, you know, like whatever. And you think, yeah, it's cool, you know, and you're hanging out and you're thinking, fuck, that's hectic. And even till now, like, you look around, there's a lot of guys, even my age, that are telling the younger gen, go do this, go do that. You know, it's sort of that whole culture nowadays, you know what I mean? And but then when they see someone that's come from it and that was hooked on drugs and they've done his time and in, like, was a bad fucking egg, you know, like, I did a lot of fucked up shit. And they, you know what I mean? And they've seen that I've just gone from that to this. And they think, fuck, like, and I think that's what inspires some of these people. Like, you've probably seen, I get a lot of messages. I ask, obviously, I don't put their names in it and stuff out of respect, but I post a lot of messages. I get hundreds of messages, little kids, adults, you know what I mean, saying that my videos and the way I talk about my experiences and the way I talk about, you know, the men's mental health side of things and stuff like that, that it helps them. That it's really helped them, and that they've got into fighting, because the number one base, and I tell everyone, to be a fighter is to have come up from something fucked up.
Yeah.
Because if you're not scared of fighting, you've fought your whole life. Go in, learn how to fight, give it a crack, and I promise you, it'll be the best decision you make. And I tell everyone that all the time. I've had that many people come up to me and say they've started fighting because of me. And that is such a good feeling. So I've done, realistically, in the grand scheme of things, I've done nothing. I've done little bits of fight, whatever. And for this short amount of time, the fact that I've helped so many people like myself, it makes me happy knowing that I've done that. You know, for me, my goal at the end of it is I'd love to open up a gym and go into boys' homes, juvenile centres. And once they get released, man, I'll have rooms and stuff, because a lot of them come from nothing, no families, nothing. And I'll come live here, train, you know, get them into something. Once I've made my money and I've got to where I want it to be, I would love to do stuff like that, because I know that giving someone a chance, like myself, like maybe yourself, or people like us that have grown up in their lifestyles and experiences, giving them a hand really helps. Saying that you believe in them, you know, telling someone that you believe in them, that can really help you out. You know, like, That's the thing. Like, people really underestimate how much just being kind to someone can do. Giving that lending hand, stopping for that guy that's popped his tire and might need a hand. You know, like, people just drive past. People don't care. People see people fall over. They don't help them up. Helping someone and just giving someone a little hand in life, it's not going to harm you. And that might make their day. That might help them out. That might make them a better person. You know, that's the thing about this world and this generation and shit like that, is everyone's for himself. That's the thing, you know. But if everyone just helped each other out and tried to look after each other, we'd be good, you know.
Definitely. I think that the first point that really stuck out to me with that was wanting to be able to create a center in which you can help speak to the younger generation. Like, there's a lot of
100%.
things that I constantly reference that I gain knowledge from doing the podcast. So one lad came on, Aaron, shout out to Aaron Huey's. He speaks on men's mental health, and he told me a fact that you only have to be a couple steps ahead of someone to be able to hold your hand out and bring them to where you are. You don't have to be necessarily one of the greatest people of all time and these big successful superstars just to help someone, like drive past someone with a flat tire. You only have to be a couple steps ahead of them. You've got 4 wheels that are working. He has 3, you know. Yeah. There is a couple amazing centers at the moment that are doing like God's work, really. Like, I said, and to be honest, episode 96, I think, comes out with a guy called Andrew Trong who works with Confit, which do that.
I know him.
Yeah, you know him. Yeah. They do amazing work in that regard too, and they all have very similar stories of going down the wrong path and then wanting to be able to help the next generation. And to do what you guys are doing, and even to have the plans you want to have, even to doing what you're doing so far with the messages and helping people, like, you're not just getting people into fighting, you're getting people healthy, you're getting people fit, and you're getting people away from a bad path, you know. Yeah. I've never been able to consider myself to be any less than fortunate that I had positive influence my entire life. Like, I really did. I had the boys I was with, and I had a couple of the people older than me as well that did help me fall off, I want to call it, the straight and narrow path, you know. I never was heavily involved in any violent crime, anything like that, but I always had people there, whether it be fight trainers or mentors or even tradesmen at some points, to be able to keep me in line. I had fight trainers that would kick the shit out of me when I did the wrong thing. Like, we'd get around and we'd tell a story, this is what we got up to on the weekend. He'd say, oh, you think you're tough? And he'd just kick the fucking shit out of us, bro. And people like that have been so beneficial for me in my life. So to be in a position you're in, to turn around to these younger kids and to say that, like, it's really amazing, incredible work, and it might be the most beneficial thing you're doing in your path of self-development. I know fighting's hectic, it's the best thing for you, but this thing for me is the best thing I've heard from you, to be honest with you. What's the next couple steps you're looking forward towards? So you got this fight coming up. Are you taking this all consistently, day by day, moment by moment, or do you have yourself a bit of a plan for the next rest of the year? Yeah,
so I have a roadmap that I put in place between me and my coaches. You know, we've tried to plan things out. That's why, for me, like I mentioned earlier, this guy's just a speed bump. You know what I mean? So realistically, for the end of this year, we have this fight coming up. There's a 4-man tournament, MMA tournament in September, I think, to qualify for the World Championships. And my coach really believes that I could do well. So we're looking at that. It's something that's on the cards. I don't have much jiu-jitsu experience, you know, a couple months. Wrestling, same thing, but I'm extremely strong. So with that couple months building up, I think he thinks we could develop enough skills to be able to actually win the tournament. You know, with my punching, I have very, very nice punching power. So once we develop it, and you know what I mean, that's why I feel like I'm sharp now, because I've got the technique down and things are just clicking more. Before I was just blunt force. Now I'm hitting very hard with minimal effort. Yeah. So that's obviously what we've got planned there. I've just been hit up by a fight promotion. They do their fight nights in Canberra. They're saying that there could be a fight night in December or January, which I'm looking at. Then we've obviously got November as well in Canberra. We've got to qualify for the World Championships for kickboxing in Abu Dhabi next year. So yeah, we've got nearly every 2 months. So we've got July, September, November, and either December or January. So I'm pretty booked out for the year. Yeah, not really much downtime, but that's it. We just smash this year out, get through it, and move on to the next. You know?
Yeah. More and more XP, right, for the rest of the year. That's incredible. I do kind of remember the point I was getting at towards before, which was I feel like a lot of people who want to be able to reach down and have a helping hand felt like at some point in their life they wish they had the same thing for them. If you don't remember what it was or don't know what it was in that moment that made you have that realization, like, I could do something more with my life, you know, I don't need to go down this same route of crime. Do you feel like you had much positive influence before that? And did you find yourself to have some at that moment forward?
Yeah, like for me, my mum's always been, you know, that positive person in my life. She always wanted me to do better, you know. And obviously, like my little sister, my brother, like I had reasons to do better, you know. But regardless, like the way I looked at it was they've always wanted me to do better. I'd done bad on my own. It wasn't to do with the way my mum raised me or anything. It was I'd done bad on my own. You get me? I chose to go down that path. I chose to do the crime. I chose to do it all. It was all personal. So the only way I could heal myself was to want to do it. That's what I tell all these people that ask me, how do I get off drugs? How do I do? I say, listen, I can tell you anything in this world. I can give you a hug. I can tell you I love you. I can give you a whole roadmap on how to do it. If you don't want to do it, you won't do it. It doesn't matter how much I force you, how much I tell you, how much effort I put into you. If you don't genuinely, from the bottom of your heart, want to stop doing drugs, want to stop doing crime, then it's not going to work. That's the cold, hard truth. I'm a straight shooter. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. I tell them all the same thing. And if you come to me and you tell me you want to do it, I'm all for it. If you're going to sit here and say, oh, I don't know if I want to, I'm thinking, there's no thinking, I don't know. Do you want to be clean? Do you want to be sober? Do you want to be fit? Do you want to look after yourself? Do you want to look after your family? Or do you want to sit on drugs and ponder it? Because while you're pondering and you're getting ripped every day or you're off your head, you're sitting there pondering, now you're 30 years old with nothing.
Do you feel like, and I like the fact that you have great family around that you can feel like you have that support from. But what about growing up? I know you said you chose to go down the wrong path and ignore the things you had beneficial in your life, but did you have heavy influence to be doing the wrong thing not just from your peers, but from elders or people around your age?
Well, yeah, my dad was in and out of jail his whole life, you know, so I looked up to him. I wanted to be like him. So, yeah, he was always just in jail, you know, he'd get out for a bit, back in. So it was just the way I looked at life. I thought, oh yeah, hectic, my dad's a criminal, I want to be a criminal. Do you get what I mean? So
yeah, of course.
That was the thing that played in my head. I was like, I can't be weak. I can't be this, that, like my dad, you know? So I'd look at him and think he's a hard cunt, he's a criminal. And then when you look back at it and you genuinely sit there and you think, fuck, like, and I say it to him all the time.
Oh, so you have communication?
Yeah, we still speak. Tell him all the time. I go, like, you're not a hard cunt for it. You get me? Like, all the dumb shit you done, you just fucked us up and fucked yourself up. So I don't want to be like that, you know? Like, that's how I looked at it, was because when I was young, I used to think that's all I want to be. I want to be exactly like my father. Then when I got older, I realised I'm like, what for? I want to, like, you know what I mean, abandon my kids and fucking do fuck off. Like, do you get what I mean? So that's how I looked at it, and I'm like, I want to be better. And, you know, and good on him now. You know, he's doing the right thing now. Like, you know what I mean? He's changing himself. And that's it. Like, he sees what I'm doing. And I think that sort of helped him as well to see, like, fuck, you know, my son's doing something good and he's getting older as well. So that's why it's like, it's one of them ones. But, like, at the end of the day, you've wasted your life. You know, I've wasted a big part of my life. He's wasted a big part of his life. So how do you come back from that? How do you fix that? You can't get that time back, but you can try and improve your way of life. You know, that's the way I look at it. Is me, I did lose a lot of my life, but guess what? Look what I'm doing in the short amount of time that I have been out. I've accomplished things that I've wanted to accomplish. There's not been one thing that I said I was going to do that I didn't do. You know, so for me, I like to set goals. I like to say, I'm going to do this, and I go and do it. So that was the thing. And then obviously, you know, like, once I seen the way he was living and stuff like that, and I just thought, fuck, easy money. You know, why should I get up and go to work? Why should I when I can just make easy money and enjoy my life and just hang out? You know what I mean? Party, this, that, whatever you want. Not have to worry. Fuck school, fuck everything. Just go and just do whatever the fuck you want. Make money.
I know what you mean. They say that, and you said it as well perfectly, you can't force someone to change, you know? You can only help someone who wants to help themselves.
Yeah.
I never really have settled nicely with that statistic and that fact, and it's almost evident to be proven, but I still don't like it. I'm always looking for a little maneuverability around that because I like helping people. It gives me suffering to see someone ruin themselves because I've been in different stages of my life where I've been completely spiraling down a self-sabotagical lifestyle. And it's been others that have helped me, but again, they couldn't have made that decision for me. And I think the best way to help someone if they're not willing to help themselves is to be the best version of yourself. You know, that's actually how you do help others. You help others by showing up every day to do everything you said you're going to do and accomplish things you want to accomplish and be fit, be healthy, be strong, set yourself goals, hit achievements. And it's that relatability fact that, you know, people are blessed with when they've gone through hardship and they've gone through times of suffering, because then they can feel that relatability, like, oh, that guy isn't unachievable. Like he's been me, you know, and now look at what he's doing. That is actually how you help someone that doesn't want to help themselves, by being the best version you can possibly be. Yeah. It's an amazing little secret that I figured out, but it's taken me a long time to figure that out, you know?
I get where you're coming from with that, because you are right. Like, obviously, I don't just give up on them and say you're a write-off, but I say the only way you're going to achieve it is by genuinely wanting it. Yeah. You know? That's that. And I think just that whole, like you were saying, they've seen someone do it. Like, there's a lot of kids that we'll see that are on drugs right now, or they're doing the wrong thing, and they'll watch one of my videos and they'll be like, oh, and they'll go and they'll suss me out and they'll be like, this guy was doing worse than what I was doing, and look what he's doing now. You know what I mean? Look at what he's accomplishing. And that can flick a switch. That can make someone say, shit, like, you know, I'm wasting my life. So I do hope, you know, like everyone that comes across it, I hope it helps them. That's the whole reason I enjoyed the content. The reason I started it at first was I wanted to help people. Right? And I was thinking, okay, how can I help people by just putting content up and not doing nothing about it? Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So this is before I'd uploaded anything. Yeah. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I want to help people, but how can I help people? Who's going to listen to me? I've done nothing. I'm just going to sit here and talk. Just say, 1, 2, 3. I'm like, okay. And then that's when my cousin started pressuring me about to go fight. I thought, fuck, that's a good channel. That's a good reason to prove something. And I wanted to prove it to myself. I wanted to prove to myself that something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to fight. I just never done it. I always wanted to fight. I said, you know what? I'm going to prove to myself that I started late. I started at 23 years old. Right?
That is a crazy statistic too. Yeah.
I started at 23 years old, and I'm going to be the UFC champion, right? From nothing to something to everything, like McGregor said, right? And that is what drives me to keep going. So that one kid that is sitting there off his head right now on drugs, thinking, fuck, he wants to off himself, right? Sitting there depressed, doesn't know what to do. And here's my story in 5 years. And that helps him to become a better person. Then I know I've done something good. Yeah. You know, I've done a lot of bad, but I'm trying to make up for it with good. Yeah. You know, and that's the way I want to live my life now. I don't care about nothing. I don't care about bullshit or drama, all that. I don't care about nothing. End of the day, I just want to help people. I want to help myself. I want to help my family. You know, each day I'm evolving. Each day I'm getting better mentally. And that's a good thing for me. I'm not going on them spirals anymore. I'm not doubting myself. I'm not self-sabotaging. I was big on self-sabotage. I was a very, very smart individual when I was growing up. My mom, everyone would say, I was very intelligent. I chose to be dumb. I chose to be a criminal. I chose to jump on drugs. I chose all them things. You get what I'm saying? Like, of course. I wasn't stupid. Even when I was a criminal, I was a smart criminal. Yeah. I wanted to get caught. So I'd done crimes in ways where it was in front of cameras, in shopping centres, at train stations, because I wanted to get caught. Yeah. I wanted to go inside.
And I get it from a sense of assuming. I don't understand it from experience and personal, but like especially, you know, if you saw your old man doing it as well, like it's kind of following in the same footsteps mentality.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people do that in life in general. With what's coming up next, does your training ever change and get more intense when you have a fight close by? Like, say you got this 3-week fight out.
Yeah.
Does anything change now than it was a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago?
To be honest, man, I go 100% until the week of the fight.
Wow.
The week of the fight is where I let my body recover. So I'll get a sweat going every day, a couple rounds shadow boxing, couple light pad works, keep the hand-eye coordination up, bit of juggling even, like just working on the hand-eye coordination. And that's it. I've done the hard work. Like at the end of the day, you're not going to lose that fitness. I've obtained that fitness. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've trained extremely hard because some people, they go all the way through to the fight. That's not the best way. I did that last time, and that's what fucked me up. And then I've spoken to this coach, and he's telling me, this is how we're doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's dope. And what about the food too? We touched on it before, but I'm still very curious about it. Like, how intense and strict is the dietary requirements you're doing?
Well, for me now, my diet is it's pretty flexible. Like it's strict, but it's flexible as well. Like I'm eating quite a bit. I'm still eating like 3,000 calories, 2,500 calories, because we're gonna aim to get to about 80 kilos. So I'm about 2 kilos off, and then fight week we're gonna do like 5 kilos of all these manipulation tactics, a bit of water, stuff like that. So then on fight night I'll be back to 83 kilos. So I'll only be 75 kilos for like an hour.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
2 hours max.
Yeah.
But that's why I leave it in the hands of my team. The food's good. He changes the meals frequently. It's good food. It's not plain, you know what I mean? And I'm eating good, you know, so I'm not hungry. I'm getting through all my training and I'm still losing weight, as you know what I mean? And I'm eating a lot. So,
Yeah, nice.
No, it's good. It's definitely a lot better.
Is it so do they provide the meals and are you in a
They send me the list, like the macros, how much of each, like the weights and the actual recipes, like how to cook it and stuff.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, and then my little sister just preps it all for me, so it's good.
Oh, you don't do the cooking?
No, man. I just don't have time, you know.
Yeah,
I'm training too much to be able to really just sit there and cook for 2 hours or whatever it is.
That's mad support, Bart, from little sister. Like,
nah, for sure.
That's mad support, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No, they
sick.
see the vision, you know. So
We also touched on that word manifestation before and the power of belief. They're both spiritual words. Like, I think that they're classed under that category. I don't know if I like the word spirituality, but I definitely like a lot of things that fit inside that word, you know, with just belief in general. Would you consider yourself to be a spiritual person, believer, religious, anything like that?
yeah, I'm very religious. It's just the way I was raised, you know, and then the way most people look at it, or like, you'll know, like most people who've been inside will know, like that's when you really get close to religion, because you've got no one to talk to, you know. When you're sat in your cell or you're in Segro and you're just sitting there and you're not coming out of your cell, you know, like you'll just sit there and you'll have no one to talk to but yourself. So then, you know, you can feel there's someone else there with you. It's a weird feeling. And if you speak to any boys that have done a stretch in Segro, they'll say the same. Because you lose your mind, right? You lose your mind in there. Like, so when you start talking to yourself and shit like that, it feels odd. But then you start praying and you feel like someone's listening. Like, it's hard to explain that feeling. It was that's what really got me close in my religion when I was in Segro for a bit. And you'd come out for like 30 minutes, you know, for the day, and it was just, yeah. And as a kid, that's it's traumatic, you know, like you're allowed out of yourself for half an hour, you're fucking locked in yourself for, could be a couple months or whatever it was, you know. And yeah, like, so you sort of find something in there, you know, and I found my religion in there. I wasn't really religious before. My family was, but I wasn't, you know. But obviously he helped me get through it, and now it's literally something that helps me get through my fights, the nerves as well. Like in that back room, you're praying as I'm walking in, you know, I'm talking to God. I'm just saying, listen, I know I deserve this. That's like how I practically put it. It's like, I know it's part of his plan because there's a reason why he put me on this path. I wouldn't be on this path for no reason. Do you get what I mean? Like, there was something that wanted me to go on this path. There was a reasoning. There was, I don't know, something wanted me on this path. That's how I look at it. You know, the things I've accomplished, the things I'm trying to do, and the people I'm helping, like, I'd be stupid to think if it was just luck.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be stupid to think that. There's obviously a reason why. So I know that now me winning is, I'm not just winning for myself. That's why I can't lose. You understand? Like, for me, I'm winning for the people that believe in me, them kids that believe in me, you know, the people that watch my stuff and relate with me. I'm fighting for all of us. I'm fighting for the kids from the broken homes, the kids with nothing, the kids that have no hope. That's what I fight. That's what gives me that drive, you know, and that's why I believe that God's put me on this path. That's the truth, you know, because there's no other reasoning for it. Why did I find this? I just woke up one day and thought, oh, it's just gonna, like, and everything just starts falling into place. After all the bad, after everything horrible I've done in my life, well, I deserve for things like this to fall into place. There was obviously something that wanted this to happen. Something that wanted me to change and help people, you know?
It's crazy when the people who don't have any ties to any religious principles or following or practices, and they haven't got the open mind to understanding, you know. It doesn't matter what religion you choose to follow, I believe, in life. Like, there's a commonality between them all, and it's that strong belief in a feeling. People who haven't even experimented, they will never understand, because it's not just a belief system. It's not just an idea. It's not just a thought. It's not just a shot in the dark. It's a literal feeling you get, you know, that feeling that you would have got by yourself in the cells, where you're speaking and you're hearing like someone's presence, that you're getting your questions answered, you know. It's a very undeniable truth of reality that so many people just have never even tried to experience, you know. And I'm not a Bible basher. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a gospel. But it's like, just for anyone to have never tried it, I have judgment, you know what I mean? I can't help it. Like, it's so evident and so true that whoever has got God on their side will succeed. You know, the most successful people always have got God on their side.
Yeah, and for sure.
Even when people make it to the top, like a good example was Will Smith. He's recently come out as, I think he's joined Islam or Christianity. I can't remember what religion he's choosing to follow now, but he's like, bro, I've done everything. Like, I've got everything I could ever want. I could buy anything. I've bought everything. I could go anywhere. And it's nothing. Like, it's all useless. It wasn't until he found God that he now feels fulfillment in his life. There's only so much this earth can give me. It's incredible, bro. And I think that it's the most important part of most religions is the rules that you have to follow. It's the discipline, you know. It's not what the rules are. It's the fact that there are rules. There's a certain amount of boundaries you have to limit yourself to. And any athlete in any field can find that same form of relation, because there's foods you can't eat. There's late nights you can't spend up. There's drinking, drugs, there's spending time doing dumb shit. Like, there's rules, there's principles. If you live a life based on discipline, that's a life worth living. You get the most rewards from doing that yourself.
For sure.
Well, is there anything that's hard in your life when it comes to discipline? Is there anything that is a struggle that you constantly think of that you wish you could indulge in or try or experiment? Or
For me, I'll be real. My diet, like, I love eating. I'm a big eater. Like, when I go and eat, like, I like big steaks, you know, dessert. Like, I like to eat, you know. So when it comes to that side, that's probably the hardest challenge. When it comes to anything else, the actual training, the mentality, anything, that's fine. When it comes to eating, that kills me, man. Like, that's the thing that, like, really just, like, that makes it hard. I think that's the same for a lot of fighters. I feel like the dieting is one of the hardest parts. I feel like everything else is all right, you know, like, you train hard, whatever, but you feel accomplished. When you diet, you're just fucking starving. Right? And you're just like, I would love to go eat a chocolate right now or something. And
diet's always been the hardest thing for me in the world, bro. Hardest thing.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because I've naturally always had a good physique and I eat whatever I want, right? But when you're in a camp, you need to be eating the right stuff to be able to be fueled for your sessions, to recover. Food is very important for recovery, training, and to lose the weight as well. So it's all in one. I can walk around and eat whatever I want and I won't put on fat. I'll be ripped to the bone. I could eat McDonald's for a month. Like literally, I have a very good metabolism. I don't know what it is, good genetics maybe. So when it comes to this, it's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. You won't even see the problem. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So that's the only thing I can say that really I have issue with. But like, I still stick to my diet. There's an occasional here and there I might have a off diet meal, and I'll let him know. You know, but it's nothing major. Like, it's not going to affect my cut. You know. So.
And what about if you lived a life of experimentation, especially with drugs and doing things so early, like smoking in year 6 and then, you know, trying to be more uppers around year 7 and onwards. Has that been a hard transition to go from a lifestyle like that to a lifestyle without?
For me, it was pretty hard. I remember when I first got out, I just got straight back on the rack. Straight, like literally, like probably a week, not even. And I just got on it every day, and I was just like, oh, I love this shit, you know, like that was my poison.
Yeah.
I loved rack. That was the only thing that I enjoyed, you know. And then it was just one day, I swear, I was sitting in bed and it's funny, I couldn't sleep. I could hear the birds chirping and I'm thinking, fuck this shit, man. And it just clicked in my head and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't know why. It's been close to 4 years now. 3 years, I've nothing. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try quit. And I was racking every day, like large amounts. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try. And I quit. And I was itching. Like that first week was the worst week of my life. I think that week I smoked maybe 2 packets a day.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
And it was the only way I could get through it. So then I turned that habit into smoking, and I was smoking heavy. Then I turned the smoking into vapes, and then I was vaping heavy. And then I was just killing myself, like polluting myself pretty much. Then I found fighting, and I was like, okay, I want to focus on this. And the thing that stuffed me up, my first fight, I was still smoking and vaping, everything. Not the most recent one of my first ones that I had. And I won the fight, but I got gassed so quick.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, man, if I want to fight, I can't be doing this. Through the vape.
Yeah.
Haven't looked back. You know? And I think it just came down to the actual quitting of drugs. I was bad on drugs, man. Like, a lot of people that say they're bad, like, I was very, very bad on drugs. I loved it. Like, I have an addictive personality. That's why I'm addicted to the sport.
Yeah.
So it was a hard transition, but I wanted to stop. And you just need to take that first step. And that's what I try to tell people. Take the first step. Quit. Say to yourself, you're done. Find something to occupy you. I wish I found the fighting after instead of smoking.
Yeah.
But obviously it was just a hard transition. Because I never even thought about it. Never thought about stopping. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now that I can say my story to people, I try to tell them, instead of jumping from that to that, go sign up at the gym. Go do something. Give yourself something to keep your brain occupied. Get that same hit. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
That's how I sort of dealt with it. It was a very hard journey. The first year was very hard. You know, people around you still doing drugs, people offering you, and you're sitting there and you're like, fuck, man, like, I should just do it. And then you're arguing with yourself, don't. You know, you're doing good, don't do it. And then you end up just cutting everyone off because you don't want to be around it. You know, you don't want to see it, you don't want to look at it, you know. So then I just said, you know, I'm just going to go on my own thing. And then that's when I sat at home for a bit and was just plodding, being lazy, but I was still plodding. I was still trying to figure out what to do. This idea came and I was like, yo, I'm going for it. You know, because I'm like a social loner. I've got a lot of friends. I do everything on my own.
Yeah.
I go out on my own. I do everything on my own.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why, like, I feel like when you're on your own, you're surrounded by people you can trust. That's it.
Yeah, I love that. That's a fucking good quote, bro. I might actually write that down after this episode. I found that I made a decision to give up just intoxication in general a while ago, and you're right when you say the first year is tough.
Yeah.
People say it's the first week, bro. That's the hardest week. The first 2 weeks is the hardest 2 weeks.
The whole year's fucked.
Yeah, like, to be honest, like it's been a good stint for me now, and there might even be moments of like temptations, you know, and it's like the overall picture is the number one message. For me, it's easy to fall back on a bit of pride and ego to be like, I've made it this far, I'm not willing to break it. You know what I mean? That's a good position to be in to push me forward to keep going. But there's moments, bro. For anyone who wants to get out of that lifestyle, there will consistently be moments where you have to prove to yourself that you're capable of continuing the same path. Doesn't mean it always gets harder. It just means that, you know, you'll always have that little bit of temptation. It's like giving up junk food. Yeah. Every now and then you're going to go, fuck, some junk food will be hectic. But when you can cut that shit out as a routine, life's always going to be better from that point on.
Of course. Like, I just look at it from a standpoint of, okay, I do drugs, I become violent. I train, I'm violent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now that I know how to actually fight, like, I didn't know how to fight. I thought I knew how to fight. Don't get me wrong. I thought I was fucking Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to fight. Now that I know how to fight and the way I react to drugs, I would be the stupidest person to go and do drugs because the viciousness of the way I strike and stuff like this now is unbelievable.
Yeah, it wouldn't be able to happen on drugs. Yeah.
If I was to take drugs, I would genuinely I'll end up in jail because I wouldn't be able to stop. There's no stop button.
No, I get you now.
Do you get what I mean?
I get you now. Yeah,
so once I start, there's no stop. I'll keep going with it. And then after a couple of days, then I start going out and going here and going there. And now I'm off my head in public. And now someone's trying to get into a crack with you and you can't pull yourself off.
I get you. Yeah, it's obviously a wise decision, dude. For many, many reasons, it's a wise decision. And it's clear and evident that you've made nothing but progress in life in every avenue since then, you know. It's nothing but evident. Do you think that... you said that food's the hardest thing to try and do, but what about lifestyle-wise? Do you feel like it's easy to get enough sleep, being a full-time work, full-time training? Is that kind of stuff easy enough? Or
listen, when it comes to sleep, man, 6 to 7 hours is best case.
Yeah.
You know, like that's not even just like, even if I'm in bed early, like my body won't allow me to sleep more than 7 hours.
Okay.
I just wake up.
Yeah.
On a Sunday, I wake up at 6. What am I awake for?
Yeah.
I can't go back to bed. Once I'm up, you know. So that is another problem, but there's obviously things I'm going to start trying out to help with that. I used to be on medication to help me sleep, but yeah, like now it's sort of like if I take that, then it just dopes me out all day. So I'd rather just cope with what I'm coping with and get that 6-7 hours and be happy with it.
Yeah. As long as you wake up and you feel fresh, it's like some people, they reckon that some people can survive on less. It's very controversial whether, I don't understand any of the science behind it anyway. For me personally, I just wake up whenever I'm ready to wake up and I don't question it, you know. Yeah. If I'm up, I'm up. If I'm asleep, I'm asleep. It's no difference.
I mean, I'm always a slow starter, you know. Like my mornings is my worst. I'm a night trainer. I like training at night. So some people, they like getting up in the morning and training at 5 a.m. I don't. Yeah. I don't like working at 5 a.m. I don't get up and train. Yeah. On me, I'll go train at 3 o'clock in the morning if I haven't slept, like late at night, and I'll have my best sessions of the day in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that's wild.
So when I get to that professional level, all my sessions will be at night.
Yeah.
I don't want to wake up early and do early classes. I'll book all my sparring partner, my coaches and everyone for them late sessions. McGregor, he's the same. McGregor does all his training at night, late at night.
Wow.
Some people operate better. I function better late at night. I don't function well in the morning. I'm a slow starter. Takes me time to get going. That's why I'm lucky the drive took a while to get here. Yeah. I'm able to function. Yeah. I'm able to sit there and talk to myself and get my mind going.
Yeah.
You know? So because I'm a slow starter. It's like when I'm training. I do sessions in the morning sometimes. My coach will be holding pads for me going 1, 2 and I'll be looking at him, what?
Yeah.
What's wrong? And he'll just go, bro, what's wrong? And it'll take me maybe 10 minutes for my brain to switch on. It's like, okay, now I'm in, you know?
Yeah.
And then at night, I'll come in, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, nice.
So I think, everyone's different in that sense. I think everyone has their own way their body works. I know how mine works, you know how yours works.
Yeah.
So,
It's obviously ever growing and ever learning, you know, like you pick up little things around the way, but like for me, mornings ain't my thing, bro. I'm to be honest, I'm not even a day person necessarily. I'm more of a night owl than anything. Like
yeah, I'm the same. I've always been like that.
I've worked night shift basically for 2 years. I've had a good month or so now where I've been doing days for a while, and nights is the best routine for me, bro. I'd rather just go to sleep at about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning and wake up at like 1 p.m., 2 p.m. It's just a way better routine for me, but everyone, each to their own, everyone's different. Yeah. Do you drink much shit? Like a lot of people, it's controversial as well with fighters, like caffeine, energy drinks, like anything like that. Do you do anything like that?
Yeah, so like me, I'm big on my coffee. Coffee keeps me going at work because, like I said, I'm a slow starter.
Yeah.
By the time the night comes, I don't need anything to pick me up. But in the morning, if I don't have like coffee or a V, I'm fucking pretty hammered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, the coffee's very... Like, the coffee doesn't even really wake you up. It's just like... I don't know if it just gives you that little hit. And it's just like, okay, I'm alert.
Yeah.
That's all I need, just that little bit of alertness.
Yeah.
But I'm not big on like caffeine drinks. I hate, like, I don't do pre-workout and that shit. That just fucking gives me a headache.
Yeah.
So,
I've never been into pre-workout either, dude. I'd have pre-workout and I'd crash within like 10, 15 minutes of a session every time.
yeah, like I tried it out a few times when I was doing my kickboxing last camp, and I'd peak and then I'd just crash.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I wouldn't even get, honestly, 20 minutes into a session. I'm out of energy.
Yeah, and just like, so it was just pointless. I'd rather be just, well, you know what, the nutrition gives you the energy too, though. If your nutrition's right, you got energy, man. You're not tired.
Yeah.
You know, nutrition and sleep.
I'm pretty big in recovery in my own personal life. I love things like saunas and anything cold, whether it be just cold showers, ice baths, things like that. I don't do the cold stuff enough, whether it be I'm not making enough time for it or there isn't enough time. I'll take the excuses there isn't enough time for now. But what type of intensity levels do you do, or time in saunas or ice baths? What do you go for?
I will say, because I do them every day, I try to not overdo it. I'll do 15 minutes in the infrared. I'll do 3 minutes in the hot bath. I'll do not anymore 3 minutes in the ice. Used to do 3 in the ice. Now it's like 90 seconds just because it stiffens up my body. So like I'll be doing my recovery and then say go into kickboxing. So my body's, I don't need it cramped. So I'll do like 90 seconds in there just to heal up whatever I can. And then I'll jump back in the hot bath for another 3 to 5 minutes. Let the muscles relax and go straight to training.
Okay.
Because I do recovery straight after like strength training, because I don't want to be sore for my skills.
Yeah.
So I like to get that recovery in, make sure I feel good, and then I can go and continue with my skills training. Because I'm lucky, it's all up. The gym I train at, it's all in one. So strength and conditioning and then recovery.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what's that gym that has everything?
EMF.
EMF.
Yeah, they're in Miranda. It's pretty far, but it's worth the drive.
Yeah.
So.
There is some good centers around here that have similar things like that as well. I'd definitely like to incorporate some more, especially the cold things. Like, man, that's shit's so good
phenomenal.
for you. I'm such a bitch butt when it comes to it. Like, I tell myself every day I live in the cold. It doesn't matter, cold water in the shower. Doesn't matter. I'm a refrigeration mechanic, so everything's cold. But ice bath, fuck. I can't, bro. I can't do it. I do it, but I'll just know I'm a bitch the entire time.
Like, I don't enjoy it. I just do it for a mental thing, you know. Like I fucking really don't enjoy it. But it's just like, because you'll see someone else doing it, and they're just sitting in there hanging out, and it makes me feel like a bitch.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, I gotta do it.
Then
too.
you gotta sit there and hang out, and then the next guy thinks, oh fuck, you know what I mean?
I done one. I swear, this was the funniest night ever. I done this sauna ice bath session with one of the boys, Ismail El Cheek, shout out, MMA fighter. He's over in Dagestan right now as well. We went, and I swear we done 10-minute sessions in this ice bath, and the whole time I'm sitting in there, this guy's just chill as fuck, and he's looking at me, and he's like, if you get out, you're a bitch. If you get out, you're gonna lose your fight. And I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, fuck. I'm shivering, right? We get out of this, I'm thinking 10 minutes, one session, like that's it.
Yeah.
We get out of it, we go straight to the sauna. We were in the sauna for 20 minutes, we're still cold. But we're still cold. Like, he hasn't even started sweating. I'm touching that, I go, bro, I'm freezing. Like, I'm shivering, and the sauna was so hot. And I look at him, he goes, we still got 3 more rounds.
What?
He trains like a weapon. Like, I'm telling you, he's a machine. But
is that even healthy, bro? That's insane.
I don't think so, but you know, like I think it was just the mental side.
Yeah.
And it was just pushing me past my limit. And I'm in there and I'm fucking shivering. And this guy's just sitting there just telling me, it's can't give up, you know, like, and I'm just like, fuck. Like, he's a machine. Like, he's a fucking machine.
That's wild. We I don't know too many, but do you reckon we have a pretty heavy involved fight scene here in Australia, especially in MMA and things like that?
Yeah, I think it's getting better. I think it is getting better. That's from what I've seen. It is getting better. The issue, and I know a lot of fighters, boxers, MMA fighters, a lot of people I know are suffering with the same issue. It's finding fights. If it's opponents pulling out, if it's this, it's that. There's a lot of things that go on, you know. It is annoying, you know. I've dealt with it myself. The thing is, that's the only downfall of posting on social media, is
People get
your
intimidated.
opponent. Yeah, like my opponent, like the last fight, he was just watching every story I was posting. I could see him.
Yeah.
I think I'm just looking. He's at the bottom. And a week before he gets injured, you know, and it's just like it's things like that. Like so, sometimes my coach will say to me like, you know, like, fuck that video. Like you're gonna scare your opponent, you know, like because there's certain things that I'm doing and the way I train and how hard I train. Like if you're an opponent and you're watching your opponent do this, you're fucking thinking, what the fuck? Who's this guy?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, what is he, the Hulk?
Yeah.
Thinks he's the Hulk. And then they sit there and they scroll and now they start listening to your story and they start watching all your video and they're thinking, fuck, how am I going to beat this guy? So that, and I'm not just talking about from me, myself. There's other boys I know that post stuff, and because of that, like, people like don't want to fight and stuff because of their name or whatever, like, you know. So that is one of the downsides of it. But I don't know if it's just a Sydney issue. I haven't fought anywhere else, but there's a lot of boys can't get fights. Like one of the other gyms I train at, MMA FT in Rockdale, I do a couple of sessions there. They struggle to find fights too, you know. And I think it's just due to either the coach, you know, people are worried about the coaching or whatever it is, you know, like. It's so it is pretty shitty in that sense. Hopefully it picks up and gets a bit better. But there is a lot of competition in the other states from what I know, and obviously other countries. So
Yeah.
but we're
definitely.
slowly growing. We're definitely growing from what I've seen.
Yeah.
A lot more people are interested in it now.
Especially if you're going to be able to take opportunities that come forward like this one you were prepping for, that you might be able to go fight in Dubai. Like,
Yeah.
that's insane, bro. You're no longer limited to a regional kind of competition base anymore. That's
for
a
sure.
world level. You know?
Yeah.
I didn't. How easy are those things to come across? Like, how many opportunities are there for international endeavors?
From what I've been told about the Abu Dhabi one, you have to make the Australian team. So you fight in, I think it's November, for your weight class. You win that fight, then there's like a 4-man fight tournament, and for the weight class, and then the winner of that gets selected and goes. So there's like a whole. It's like a whole. Yeah, you got to get through a few obstacles to get there. Do you get what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
You got to qualify first to fight in that 4-man. And if you win that, I think you win the Waco belt, the Waco Australian belt. If you win that 4-man tournament, that's where you win the belt, and then you make the team. So we'll see. You know, hopefully that's because I think they can only have one per weight class.
Yeah. There's also a lot of opportunities for like South Asia and places like even Thailand. You got Malaysia, Singapore. Like they have big fight communities. You know, I know.
For sure.
Is that something that you'd ever consider doing something like that?
I wanted to go to Thailand now. I was planning on being in there now, but then this fight came up. Timing just wasn't going to work, so I said, you know what, I'll lag it out, hopefully to the end of the year. But now this year's pretty booked out, and I can't afford to. I would rather stick with my coach and learn from him and absorb his knowledge to prepare me for my fights than to go over there and whatever, you know. So I feel like once I've accomplished what I need to do here, I'm definitely interested in going over there and picking up new skills and learning new things. But for now, I'm still learning. I'm still at that beginner. I'm a beginner.
Yeah.
I'm a beginner at this. I might have advanced a lot quicker than most, right? But I'm still a beginner. I'm still dealing with beginner things. There's certain things that guys pick up over time that I haven't picked up yet, because it actually comes with experience and time.
Of course.
You know, like being able to think in the fight properly. I go in there and I go to fight. I haven't experienced that level yet where my brain flicks on and says, and you can start like thinking more. Like you're definitely thinking, but I know like a lot of the guys I train that are more experienced, they tell me it just happens one day. You know, you just go in there and it just clicks. Everything starts clicking. For me, I go in there and I see things. I don't think about things. I'm not thinking, okay, I should use this. I go in there and I see the shot and I take it.
Yeah.
But there's Like, do you know what I mean? So I feel like that comes with experience from what I've been told. There's certain things that will come with just experience, not just like, oh, yeah, you can just pick it up because you're training hard or whatever. It's things that with experience will come. So I'm trying to get as many fights as I can done and just whack them out so I can get that experience, you know?
Yeah. Who do you look at for the most inspiration? Like, who do you follow much UFC fighters or like people in any field of fighting?
Well, to be honest, man, I love Alex Pereira.
Yeah.
Just his story, you know. 23, he started training, so like same age. He was an alcoholic, started in kickboxing, and he's got the touch of death. And I believe I got that hard hit as well. So his story is inspiring, you know, like just the way he went about his life and how much he's accomplished in such a short amount of time. Same in MMA. In that short window, he's accomplished so much. So people like that is someone I look up to because I feel like I'm slowly going on a same path. Like, you know, we started around the same age. I'm building myself up. I started in kickboxing, and I'm working my way to the top and I'm accomplishing things in a short amount of time. So for me, he's one of the guys I look at and I think, fuck, I would love to be like him.
Yeah.
I would love to just go in, catch everyone by a storm. Like I said earlier, I'm going to take this whole division by a storm and just put people's lights out, man.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
You don't get paid by the minute. You don't get paid you get paid to get in and get out. As an amateur, you don't get paid. You got sponsors, you get paid. You get me?
Yeah.
But so I'm not there to fucking have a party. I'm not there to hang out. I want to get him out of there as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And move on.
So you're trying to take as many fights as possible, or are you giving yourself enough time between fights? What's the goal?
Like the thing is, I'm in camp all the time because even when I'm not preparing for it, I train the exact same.
Yeah.
Just the intensity is a bit harder in sparring. But I'm happy to take whatever, whenever. I want to just fight. I want to get in there, fight, get more experience, you know. Just sitting out for this long has been a bit annoying. Like 2 months of not fighting, it's been pretty shit.
2 months is actually what I hear pretty standard at the least, bro.
It is, but like not like the thing is, with MMA, yeah, because you take more damage, smaller gloves and this and that. With kickboxing, man, you can be competing fucking like look at the Thais, bro. They compete every weekend in Thailand.
Yeah.
You know, like you can compete. Just depends on how much damage you're taking. You know, I'm happy to compete more frequently because I want to build that experience up. Like I said, I started late, so for me, it's getting the experience in early, doing as much as I can, as quick as I can, learning as much as I can. It's all right to sometimes you want to get beat. Why? Because it's like, okay, I learned from that. You know, you're gonna learn. You're always gonna learn. For now, I don't see that in my path, but obviously, you never know. Like in the future, couple fights down the track, who knows, right? But for now, the goal is to get it done. You know, get in there, take this guy out. Move on to the next, finish off the goal that I have set for this year and worry about next year, you know?
Yeah.
This year's a busy year. I ain't got time to be slowed down, you know? I got motion, I'm moving, you know what I mean? I'm going at a quick pace and that's it. Like, it's just, just another obstacle.
Yeah.
I've dealt with it my whole life, so...
I think that with the way social media has grown and fighters taking advantage of that fact, like yourself, it would be awesome to see, and I haven't seen anyone do it yet, have themselves... videographers, photographers, proper lads who are in the scene of capturing, like say rappers and people on tour, people shoot music videos. Like the more I do podcasts, the more I reach out to more people, and there's an infinite amount of young kids with good cameras and good videos that want to capture as much dope shit as they can. And they go around, they do the mixtape drops, or they'll go do the area movements, or even shoe drops, or things for people like JD Sports, rap, whoever. They just want to capture mad moments. It'd be sick to see everyone's content as fighters evolve to that next level really quickly, you know? I'd love to be able to watch dope, intense video clips, highlights and things, not just shot from camera angles, but also shot from hectic cameras, bro. And there's plenty of boys that have them too.
That's the thing. So I've actually got my cousin, he does photography and stuff. I think he's the one that knows Luke as well, plugged my brother. And he does all that. So he's actually coming next Sunday and we're going to do a mad, like, proper photography video, like a little clip reel for TikTok. Like I made one myself the other day off my phone, like just mucking around, you know? But it turned out pretty well. It done pretty well. But I'm getting him in with his proper camera and we're going to do a proper, like, video. Yeah. Like a cool edit. So that's actually funny you said that. That's going to be happening from next Sunday. I've just been waiting for my fight poster to be made. Yeah. So we can have something cool with that, you know? So, but definitely, like, it's one of them things where I think the problem being is the fighters. It's hard for them to afford these things.
Of course.
Because they're not making money. And if you're doing what I'm doing, well, coaches wise, like my bills just in training is like $1,000 a week, $1,200.
Yeah.
So if you're not making that and you haven't got sponsors and you haven't got people that are helping you, you're gonna struggle, man.
Definitely so. Although people are all trying to come up together, you know.
Yeah.
For people like yourself who want to come up as a fighter, there's also people that want to come up as a videographer. So
Yeah.
they actually gain a lot out of the fact that you are giving them a platform to show off their skills, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And communities in the beginning, they don't grow because everyone pays each other. They actually trade with each other. You know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So there's always something in return, you know. Like it's like with my cousin, he wants to help me out, so I can help him out.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? It's one of them ones because I know the value in his work, and I've seen his work, and he knows the value in the community I've built.
Definitely.
I've built a solid community of fans. I've got a lot of good fighters and good people I know around me who would love to have videos like that.
Yeah.
You know, because like I said, there's a lot of skilled guys out there. There's a lot of talent in Australia. They just don't know how to market themselves. And I've actually had fighters come up to me and say to me that I should help like I should make like a program or something and give other fighters like ideas on what to be doing.
That's a great
and
idea.
help them build their socials. And I was thinking about it for a
That's
while.
a great idea, yeah.
Helping other fighters to be able to create content like I do.
Yeah.
There's days I'll just be sitting at work or I'll be sitting in bed and I'll just get random clips together, put it together and make a funny video and it'll do well.
Yeah, yeah. The promotional side, bro, it's just as important. You know, you're obviously putting a lot of effort into every aspect you've got within fighting, and to also put that aspect and to look at social media like it's a part of your arsenal as a weapon is super cool. But the more you dive deep into this arsenal of what social media is, bro, the bigger and bigger it gets. It's unlimited. It never ends. You know, it's awesome.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah. When it comes to things like sponsors and branding and collaborations with companies, how is the best way for a fighter to get that? Is it to reach themselves out or to have, you know, a platform big enough for people to reach out to them?
If you want me to be completely honest with you, I've had all the sponsors that have hit me up. They hit me up. I haven't reached out to anyone as yet because I want to work with people that are interested in working with me. I don't want to be the one that's pushing the point. I don't want to be the one that's, you should sponsor me because of this. Why did you want to sponsor me? Because at the end of the day, they're going to come. The sponsors are going to come, right? If you're doing the work and you put in the work, they're going to come, right? I could definitely hit up some big companies and stuff like that and probably definitely get some sponsors from them, right? But why should this is the way I look at it. Why should I chase them when I know what value I bring?
Yeah.
So when the people that hit me up to sponsor me, because I'll put out a video, I'm taking sponsors. I won't ask people. I say, hey guys, you know, I'm looking for sponsors for my upcoming fight. If you're interested, hit me up. Let's chat, you know. And I'll tell them what I'll do for them and what they'll do for me and how it works. So, and just the initial them messaging, it intrigues me because it's like, okay, they see something in me, so I want to help them and I want to work with them. Because at the end of the day, I'm growing quick.
Yeah.
Like my social media is growing very quickly at the moment. Like considering to like most other people that are doing what I'm doing, fighting and stuff.
Of course, yeah, definitely.
With the content I put, I could definitely be putting more content out and I could be uploading more content and doing more. But for now, obviously, you have to have a balance. My balance is I have to prioritize fighting. Yeah, I do my content, but my priority is the fighting as well. Mm-hmm. So I can't just all day be worrying about clips and worrying about getting videos and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
So do you get what I mean?
It's a hard balance in it.
That's the only hard thing. Like, so it becomes one of them things. Like, you got to find that balance. I found that balance. So I just try and do what I do. And when the people hit me up to sponsor me, then I appreciate it more. Because I don't want to chase you. Because then if I'm chasing you, it's like, you didn't want me in the first place. So now I have to prove myself to you. I have to prove my worth. Yeah. I don't want to prove my worth. I know what I'm worth. I know what I can bring. And that's it.
Yeah.
You want to work with me? Work with me. If you don't, I'm not going to beg you. I'm happy for you to go your way and I'll go mine. At the end of the day, the people that are working with me, they know. They can see the vision. They know where I'm going to end up.
Yeah, I love that. That's a good mentality. I love that mentality. What about when it comes to entering the UFC? You've got your end goals champ, right?
Yeah.
Do you have yourself a limit of I want to do a minimum amount of this amount of fights or this amount of time before I start entering the UFC? Do I want to have 10 wins before I do? Like, do you have anything
for
like
me,
that?
it'll just be, I'm just going to go with the flow.
Yeah.
I'm going to just do what I need to do. And when the opportunity arises, I take it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I've had 10, 1, 5, whatever. No fights.
Yeah, yeah.
When the opportunity presents itself, I'll take the opportunity because I'm an opportunist. You know what I mean? I'm not. That's the only thing I'm not planning for. I'm not planning a certain amount of numbers and certain amount. I'm just gonna do what I do. I'm gonna continue to fight, and their eyes will come on me soon enough.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
They'll know who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have a theory when it comes to the end goal of any endeavor you want to go down. You know, as soon as you have that sparked idea, do everything you can day by day to get to that. You don't have to focus on when that thing's coming. If you live day to day and as best as it can, that day actually comes faster and faster towards you. And you can't predict when that day is going to come.
Yeah,
when you predict, you almost set yourself a limit of how far away it is. But if you live in the moment as best as you can, that could show up tomorrow.
Yeah, like that's it, exactly. Because I could say, oh, I want to be in the UFC in 5 years. Right, but then I get an opportunity in 2 years. I'm so locked in on 5. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you almost haven't been doing what you should have been doing for those entire 2 years because you've got 3 more years to do it.
Yeah, do you get what I mean? Yeah, you're setting yourself up. So that's why I just go with the flow when it comes to that.
Yeah, nice.
Obviously, the fights I have scheduled, but when it comes to the end goal is whenever it comes.
Yeah, no, I love that. And what about coaching? You know, you love reaching down and helping out a younger generation of people. That's a fulfilling part that a lot of people have in their soul. Is coaching something that you want to get involved in yourself?
Yeah, like I love it. It's just at the moment I'm building up my clientele. It's obviously hard, like because there's plenty of other coaches out there, right? And for me, it's hard with my schedule. So if I was to do it, I need to know that I can stop working and I can focus on that.
Yeah.
Right. So
easy financial transition.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like I need to know that financially I can afford to do something like that. Right. And obviously I know plenty of trainers that do make more than I make on the pump. Right. But it's just getting that clientele. And the thing is, a lot of the clients that I do work with and I have worked with, like I won't charge some of them because they're kids from the street, you know, and stuff like that. So, like I want to help them. I'm like, how can I take some money off someone that's just looking for something to do, you know? So that's my thing. So I need to be in a situation where I can say, okay, you know what? I'll train them 10 kids that I don't want to take money from. I'll train them in a group. But where can I train them? Do you know? So that's what I'm saying. There's things in motion. I'm gathering sponsors and I'm gathering people behind me to be able to set something up like this. Do you get what I mean? And it comes back to even like the confit group. I went down there, spoke with them. They're a good group of people. I love what they're doing. You know, we've spoken about maybe me coming into doing the pathways with them and stuff. And that's definitely something that we're looking at in the future, you know?
That's awesome.
For now, obviously in camp, it's hard for me to do these things.
Yeah.
Once I win this fight and I'm able to have that couple of weeks of downtime, 2-3 weeks, then I'm able to go and venture out and really do things, you know, because each time I'm winning, I'm getting more, how do I explain it? I'm getting more eyes, more people are seeing the goal. And it'll help more. Like by the time I do go into them juvies and I do speak to them kids, they're going to look and they're going to say, I've seen this guy, or like I've heard or something. My name will be cut in all the walls there, you know. They would have heard my name.
Yeah.
And I see this guy's done this. It's just more accolades, you know. I'd love to go in there, win an amateur belt. My goal for this year is from these fights is to at least win two belts by the end of the year.
That'd be sick. Yeah, that's dope. Mad goal.
And I'll walk straight in there and I'll just give it 2 of the boys in there, have it, bro. You know, have them, keep them here, you know.
That's
and
dope.
Just to show them something. Because by the end of this year, it'll be just over 12 months of training, you know?
That's phenomenal, man. That's such a phenomenal leaps and bounds you've made in such a short period of time. I can't wait to see what's going to come in a few years, bro.
That's literally what everyone says around me. Like, this is where you've come in 10 months. Imagine in a year from now.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's crazy to think. Like, I didn't even think I could level up more. And then it's just like, it just keeps going. And it's more and more and more. And it's like, okay, imagine in 12 months. Another 12 months.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
It's sick, bro. I love that part of life. That's the most exciting thing too. Because usually things start slow and they start to get better and better and faster and faster.
Yeah.
When things go fast, quick, man, like I just can't wait to see the end goal for that.
Yeah,
That's
no,
insane.
for sure.
It's insane.
Nah, it's hectic.
I have to bring it towards the end of the episode, right? We've almost hit the end of it, but I have one final question that I ask everyone at the end of the episode. Before I do, I have to say thank you very much for coming on, dude.
Thank you for having me, bro. I really appreciated it. You know, it was a good chat. We had a good yarn, and definitely do something again in the future, you know?
No doubt. Absolutely
and,
no doubt.
Yeah, it was good. It was my first podcast, so, you know.
Well, you crushed it, dude. You crushed it.
It was good fun. Straight out.
Well, I'll come back to this goodbye chat in a second, but the final question is, and we've touched on it a lot, you know, I feel like a lot of people suffer with being in down places in their life at different times. So if someone came to you because they were feeling depressed, mostly because they were lost, what advice would you give to that person?
The advice I'd give, honestly, is you need to find yourself, you know, like I know you think you're lost, and I know you think the world's going to end and everything's going bad, but you need to genuinely sit down with yourself, talk to yourself, and find out what you want to do, what you want to achieve. Because at the end of the day, if you have no goal, you have no motion, you have nothing in your head, you're just living to live, then, you know what I mean, you're better off dead, in my opinion. You're just rotting. So the way I tell them is, listen, set a goal. No matter what it is. You know, if it's, I want to get up tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock, not doing it, I just want to get up. I want to be awake. Or tomorrow, I want to read a page of a book. It doesn't matter what small thing it is. It could be tomorrow I want to call my mate and I just want to check up on him. Whatever it is, right? Something small. But set something in your head for you to achieve tomorrow. And then guess what? The next day, I want you to go one step higher than that. So instead of calling one, call 2 friends. Instead of waking up just at 5, wake up at 5 and sleep early. Do you get what I mean? Each day, try to improve something by 1. Add on to it. Maybe you read 1 page of the book. Now do 2, now 3, now 4. Now you finish the book. Do you get what I mean? It's constant working on yourself. Find something, achieve it, and fucking just get it done. Don't let anyone tell you can't. Because everyone will tell you can't. Everyone will laugh at you. Everyone laughs at you until it works.
Yeah.
That's literally what I say with my social media shit. I had to start posting shit. I felt so awkward. I'm thinking, fuck, everyone's running amok on me. Everyone's laughing at me. And then everyone laughs at you until it works.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the thing. So just go for it. And don't worry about no one. Fuck everyone. Do your thing. And, you know.
I love that answer, dude. Because it's not about changing the entire living experience you've got instantaneously. Oh, tomorrow I got to wake up and be the best possible version of myself. But if you just give yourself one little thing, bro, that'll give you that much endorphins, that much, even if it's only a little bit of dopamine that's been released.
I want a 10-second cold shower tomorrow.
And that will improve everyone's day by so much, bro. You know, such a little thing like that too.
That's what I mean. Step by step.
Yeah. Great answer, dude. Great answer. I couldn't say it enough, man. I have nothing but faith in everything that's coming towards your future. Not just because it's being given to you, but because you're taking it as it comes, you know. You're really putting yourself out there. You're creating the opportunities that are in front of you. You're not just sitting around waiting for things to happen. So it's been dope to learn about the person behind the post, bro. And I'm definitely keen to catch up sometime in the future and hear how the journey's been.
Nah, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you having me, you know. So it was good. It's good fun. The first of many, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
It was definitely good. So you've took me podcast cherry bud.
You know? Yeah, legend.
But no, it was
sick,
good.
Bro. It's sick. I'm gonna definitely write. You said one quote before. I can't remember what it was, but I can't wait to go write it down when I edit it. When I edit it, I'll find it out.
Yeah, no, I think it was something about fuck. I've lost it now.
Yeah, I've lost it too, but at least I get to go back and watch it pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, for sure. I appreciate that.
Nah, dope, bro. It was awesome. It was awesome. So thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Dang.
Appreciate it.
All right, for everyone listening, thank you for making it to the end of the episode. It was another amazing episode this week. There'll be another amazing episode next week. That's a wrap.
Shawty catch a vibe, I had to put her on. Bought her 2 skitty, yeah, we heading for the sun. Shawty got my